All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. We are back from the winter break. We've defrosted the camera, we've defrosted Harry, and we're here now for some Women's FA Cup action. Today, we have Chelsea versus Charlton in the Women's FA Cup round of 32. Should be a really exciting game today. We've already seen a lot of FA Cup action this weekend, Harry, but not quite as much as we would have expected.
Exactly so, as you say, frost I think is the word on everyone's lips. The amount of games we had called off this weekend has been absolutely incredible, and it's been a massive shame because it means we've got a lot of rearranged fixtures and we hardly know who's through to the FA Cup next round into next Monday's draw. So it's going to be there
tomorrow's draw. That could easily have been done last week at this rate because we have no idea who's going to be in it.
But Chelsea are playing, we know that much. Kingsmeadow is a football pitch and not an ice rink like most grounds up and down the country. So we will get 90 minutes of action. We will get a good game of football. And as you say, great to be back with domestic football. Once again, we're kicking off the FA Cup. We're back into the WSL and the Barclays Women's Championship next week as well. So Great to be back. Hopefully going to deliver some good games. We haven't seen as much action as we wanted to, but we've seen some action, and that's the main thing.
And well, we will be keeping tabs on all the action that is going ahead, and it has been a good day of football for the games that have gone ahead. 5-0 London City Lionesses against Fulham. That was a fairly expected result, a good win for the London City Lionesses. They'll be hoping to make a real impression, given the amount of money that Michelle Kang is pumping into the sport. Sunderland beat Exeter, or are beating Exeter 6-1, but to be honest, I think that Sunderland are through now. Manchester City should see out a 3-0 win against Ipswich. A couple of minutes left in that game. Newcastle United have left it late, but they are 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest. That is still ongoing, though, so we'll keep tabs there. Charlton and Wolverhampton Wanderers is approaching half-time at 0-0. London Bees 2-0 down to Rugby Borough. So that would be, two sides there who aren't affiliated with men's teams. Obviously the same for London City Lionesses. I think that's quite a good thing for the sport.
Yeah, very much so. As you say, yes, London Bees are linked slightly to Barnet, but it's not like a it's not an equivalent Barnet women's side. So yeah, it is big. Some really good ties. This is why we love the FA Cup as much as we love. It is good for the smaller sides to play against the bigger sides because it means more money. As much as we want to see two big sides taking on each other, those games against where you have a smaller side versus another weaker side means that it guarantees one of them getting through to the next round, which is absolutely crucial for them. So for one of London Bees or Rugby Borough today, they will be in the next round. London City Lionesses are already through, a brilliant win, an expected win really against Fulham. So as you say, it's great to see some of these smaller sides further down the English ladder who are going to get the chance in the next round. Because you look at it, Rugby Borough could draw Manchester United away, and suddenly that would be a huge result if they get. They've still got to win today, but that's the thing. There's a really good opportunity for teams like that today.
Even in this round, though, we've got fifth tier Fulham, who were on national television earlier today. And obviously that pays out broadcasting revenue. So brilliant competition is the Women's FA Cup, and I think it's having a really good impact across the pyramid. And let's focus on today's game then. Chelsea versus Charlton. Chelsea coming back from the winter break, and it's a very strong side. Is that expected, obviously, with these players having not played since the 18th, 19th of December?
Yeah, definitely so. I think it's interesting to see how teams judge it. Man United did the same thing last night. They played a stronger side to get back the sharpness. Brilliant, Rachel Williams came and got a hat-trick. Ella Toone back amongst the squad and back amongst the goals. That was key for her. But then you see the flip side where Manchester City today did rotate, did give opportunities to youngsters, took out some big players. So it depends.
Finally benched Hasegawa.
But I know, it's taken a year and a half, but they've done it. So for Chelsea, they've opted to play a stronger side. Clearly, Bonpastor wants to use this game to get a few goals in the belt and come back in the new year and start with a bang. It does make sense. I guess the reason you could explain for it is that Charlton are a better opposition than Ipswich are. So that you could argue that's why City rested, Chelsea haven't, because Charlton are a very, very good, a decent team on their day, only the division below. So Chelsea can't afford to take it too.
It's been a weird season, hasn't it, for Charlton? Because last season they were competing for the title. Now this season they look closer to relegation. But I think it is worth noting, as you say, that on their day they could pose a real threat. And let's talk about the team lineup then. We'll start, of course, with the home side Chelsea, as we are at Kingsmeadow today. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Bonpastor's Blues. They look to maintain their unbeaten start to life under their new manager. In goal, it's Hannah Hampton, a back four of Bronze, Bright, Bjorn and Baltimore, as the four Bs continue in the back line. Then in the midfield pivot, Orion Jean-Francois and Aaron Cuthbert. On one flank, it's Kat Macario. On the other, Guro Wrighton. Attacking midfield is Lauren James, returning from injury. And Mayra Ramirez leads the line. It's a very strong team. Is it too strong, though? Could we have seen something like Lola Brown starting today? Or does it make sense to just get through today, get the players back sharp, with the WSL obviously returning next weekend?
It's a very interesting question, because just to second that, if you look at the Chelsea bench as well,
there is no Lola Brown.
The Chelsea bench is ridiculously strong. And it's one of those where, okay, I get that Bombastor might want to start strong, but surely should bring youngsters and squad players into the match as it goes on. That's not the case. It's a really strong bench. So Bombastor, I'm not going to question it, because the reason she wins things because she doesn't, take opportunities to rest as much as other managers do. So clearly, there's a statement Bombastor wants to put out today. She's not going to go for a weak side. She's going to keep it the full strength 11. It's a strong bench as well. So I am a little bit surprised. I'll be completely honest. I'd expected to see some youth players get onto the bench, but that's not the case for Chelsea today.
No, and obviously it's not the easiest game, so it's not like a foregone conclusion.
No.
But I think this would have been an opportunity to hand some of those youngsters some game time, hand them an experience. So I am a little bit surprised in that regard. I think I've just seen 4-0 Rugby Borough, by the way.
Wow.
London Bees have completely fallen apart at the end of the half there. It's 3-0 on 42 minutes, 4-0 on 45. So that last 5 minutes has really just killed that game off. And Sunderland adding a 7th at the end of their game as well. So all action in the Women's FA Cup right now.
Yeah, I mean, Rugby Borough, they're in cruise control in that match, but for London Bees, it's one of the only way you can look at it is that if they can do it in one half, we can do it in the other. Long way back for the home side there, but great start for Rugby Borough. And I think that's, for Charlton, it's going to be tough today. They have to take it like that. For me, they'll look at it like, not quite like Fulham did today, but in terms of that, keep yourself in the game. Keep it at 0-0 as long as you can. Keep it at 1-0 as long as you can. The thing that, West Brom did it perfectly last night. Forget the second half. Talking about the first half, they kept it at 0-0 for a bit. They then went 1-0 down. They were 1-0 down then for about 50 minutes in that game. Then they conceded 6 goals in 18 minutes. Charlton don't do that part, but look at the first 60 minutes from Man United's game yesterday, and that's what Charlton have got to do. Do not do the last 18. That was dreadful from West Brom. But for Charlton, they are Championship opposition. They are stronger than West Brom. They're stronger than Ipswich, who we've already seen have to go up against WSL opposition. I think there's more of a chance. People will say that this is an easy Chelsea win, and it might be like that eventually. But I definitely think to start this match, Charlton will be up for this, and they will fancy themselves to at least give Chelsea a game for a bit. Even if they keep it 0-0 for the first half, for half an hour, they give Chelsea a game, and then that'll be the important thing for them.
On that note, I think it's been a shame. You mentioned there about obviously the smaller sides facing the bigger sides. I think it's a shame that none of the lower WSL sides have played, because I think it would have been really interesting to see, over a Palace team low on confidence or a Leicester team low on confidence, could a Championship side go and get a result? Would have been really interesting. Unfortunately, we've not seen any of those games. All of Palace, Leicester, Everton and West Ham were called off, although West Ham weren't playing lower opposition, they were playing Liverpool. So it would have been quite a difficult game for them. But yeah, it's a shame that none of those had played, because I think we could have seen some upsets there. Let's talk about the Charlton team, because we haven't done that yet. Now, if you are a Charlton fan, please feel free to correct this, because FootMob are often incorrect on the lineups of the lower teams, so they don't know where players play very well. So if there are any mistakes, do let us know. But it looks like it's going to be a 4-3-3 for Charlton today. In goal, it'll be Gray, a back four of Pearce, Skills and Dow and Newsham. Then in the midfield 3, Hutton, Phyllis and Bradley, and a front line of Moya, Brazil and Green. So yeah, do let us know if you're a Charlton fan if any of those are incorrect. But yeah, Charlton, as you say, they've got to try and keep it compact. They've got to try and shut out Chelsea as well as they can. It's going to be a very difficult task to do that.
Yeah, very much so. And it's a very weird circumstance for Charlton, because if this game had happened last year, we would have looked at it in a completely different light. A Charlton side that were gunning for promotion. In the end, they only finished a point off Crystal Palace, who we've seen come into the WSL and challenge. Now, do I think Charlton would have done the same? Probably not. As we've seen this season, a complete fall from grace, and what has been a horrible 24-25 campaign to see from a Charlton point of view, for the fans, for the players, to go from an incredible campaign last season, and then they're in big trouble this year of getting themselves relegated into the National League, and that would be a huge disappointment. So going into 2025, they have to kind of just turn over a new page and hope to put everything that happened at the start of this season behind them and start 2025 well. Now, do I expect them to go beat Chelsea? Absolutely not. And I don't think the fans will either. But they will want to go out there and give them a game. If they only lose...
I'm not sure even the most ambitious, optimistic Charlton fan could expect that today.
But it's one of those... For me, if they only lose 3-0 or 4-0 and they look solid and they give Chelsea a decent game, they can come off this pitch and be very happy with the performance. They can say that they've taken the 5 times in a row WSL champions to... they gave them a game. They only conceded 3 or 4. And that can be the type... Yes, it would be a loss, but it could still boost their campaign. And... I think that will be important. They won't be focusing on this match, but they'll be focusing on what comes after and how they build up form, because they need to put a run of games together. They did end last season very well with drawing to table toppers Birmingham. That was a good note to kind of end the season, to get a good result at a very top quality side. So for Charlton, they've got to try and build momentum. That is going to be very difficult against Chelsea.
Yeah, as for Chelsea, it'll be a game where they'll be hoping just to... It's a stepping stone. It's a necessary stepping stone towards a competition they want to go and win this season. Obviously, failure to capture either of the domestic cups last season would have been a huge frustration for Chelsea. So they'll be looking to change that this year. I don't think today will be too difficult. They'll be hoping that they can start fast, get some goals early, and then sort of cruise in second gear for the rest of the game. I think will be their plan today. If they can just, get couple in the first half, they should then be able to see that out quite effectively. A couple messages in chat. Ryzen saying, surprised to see Baltimore start over Charles. Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see what happens with Sondy Baltimore, because she's really effective in that left-back position. And I don't think Charles has shown yet that she offers the same attacking upside. So we're really intrigued to see who is the starting fullback in that position, because you would naturally gravitate towards it should be Niamh Charles. But I think Baltimore's performances in the first half of the season really have put that into jeopardy.
I think it's one of those where when we look at it, we have to look at it in the same way that we have to all season with Bonpastor's team selection, is that she definitely chooses personnel game by game. And I think it will determine when Chelsea needs something a little bit more defensive and needs to be a little bit, more solid in defence, I think you could potentially look at a Niamh Charles. When Chelsea are looking to put a 7 past the team and have a fullback that is going to spend most of the time in the opposition's final third, you're going to look at Sondy Baltimore. Today, Chelsea have gone for Baltimore because, as we say, Baltimore's going to find itself very high. I think it will just determine. It'll be based on game per game, and we have to take it each game at a time.
Well, also, Niamh Charles has got some very unquantitative factors, like her leadership. I think that's such an important part of Chelsea's backline, is her leadership, is her communication, which isn't very quantitative, but it is very helpful for Chelsea. So, I think that could be something that edges in her favour, and I definitely I agree that the bigger games, they'll probably favour her. But I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore could still, be using that role very often, especially given how Gura Wrighton has shut down that left-hand side role. That is her position. There is no question there right now. I think that Baltimore could definitely, start at some games left back. Quite a few. I think the difference is marginal between the two. Ryan says, hey guys, hope you had a good winter break. Yeah, it's nice actually. To be fair, it didn't really feel like a winter break, other than the fact we haven't streamed. I'm missing the streams, but we posted double what we normally do, so it's not really been a winter break, but it has been a nice reset, and now we're ready to go for the second half of the season. Emily says, I think it'll be Chelsea 7, Charlton 0. On that note, the players out in the tunnel, the players on the pitch. Let's get into some predictions. We'll start here in the studio. Harry, what is your prediction?
I don't expect it to be plain sailing for Chelsea in terms of, they have had a couple of weeks off. I'm not expecting Chelsea to come out and in the first 10 minutes score 3 goals and play incredible football and be the best version of Chelsea we've seen all season. I do think it'll be one of those where they slowly get into the game, bit like Manchester United did, bit like Manchester City did today. They will get better and better and better as the game goes on, as they bring on subs and that. So I don't think it'll be an incredibly high scoreline. I'll go for 4-0. I think it'll be a slow start. Chelsea will go into half-time leading 1-0, and then they'll find 3 goals in the second half.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go slightly bigger scoreline of 5-0.
Fair enough.
I don't think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath today, but I do think Chelsea will want to win in convincing fashion. I think unless Charlton have a West Brom-esque capitulation, I don't think this will be too heavy a scoreline, but I think it will still be a convincing victory.
Yeah, very much so.
Would be my prediction. Lucky welcome to the stream says, hey lads, need to be careful not to get caught on the counter. Need a big performance from Kat, only her second start of the season. Yeah, that's true. There are a few players with points to prove. I think Lauren James, surprisingly, is one, just because you look at the first half of the season, she's not played yet much for Sonia Bonpastor, and when she did in the first, I think she played 2-3 games, I don't think she was her usual best. No, obviously she has had ongoing injury issues, so that could explain that. But I want to see a performance from Lauren James which has a bit of that wow factor back to it. Because Hamano's done very well in the first half of the season. And I think it's a lot closer between the two now, given the fact we've not seen Lauren James in a good few months.
Yeah, as you say, there's a few players that have taken on that role and have done very, very well. Hamano's looked really sharp. We saw Cap Dean start there against Leicester and score from it eventually in that game. So there's, Lauren James is going to have to fight for her, but it's a scenario we never thought we'd find ourselves in. But Lauren James will have to fight for her position. Now, early doors, it does look like she will be out on the right-hand side and Kat Macario is going to join Ramirez.
It's going to be a 4-2-4 today, you think, for Chelsea, given their dominance. And before kick-off, both such players taking a knee and a stand against all forms of discrimination, and it will be Chelsea to get us underway here. Myra Ramirez from the middle knocks it back, and we're underway here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea versus Charlton in the fourth round of the Women's FA Cup. And already high pressing here on Erin Cuthbert, but they will play out of it with Millie Bright now. And that is a long ball searching for Guro Wrighton. One in the air by Pearce, but that is out of play for a Chelsea throw. But Emily's saying, hey boys, you have a good Christmas. Really enjoyed your season review for Liverpool. I thought you were spot on. Are you looking forward to today's game? Yeah, I had a good Christmas. And yes, very much looking forward to the return of domestic football in England. We've not had anything to enjoy for a few weeks, but we are now back with the women's game. Here is Natalie Bjorn. Still catch me out now that she's not blonde.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it. I'm not sure. It's confusing, but
Bjorn.
I think Chelsea will want
Lauren James, nice touch, nice control, and she'll drive forwards now. Finds Myra Ramirez, who's nudged off the ball. That is not something we're used to saying, but Charlton do regain possession, and Myra seemingly feeling that one a little. And that is a poor bit of play from Charlton out from the back. Guro Wrighton picks up on it. Her forward pass is intercepted. She does then win it again. Cuts back to the edge of the box. Erin Cuthbert here takes a touch, takes a shot, but that's blocked in close proximity. And now Charlton will look to counter. This is a nice move working down the right-hand side. Here's Moya trying to take on Millie Bright. Bright stands her up, but she does get a shot away at goal, which is claimed by Hannah Hampton.
First shot of the game goes to Charlton. Didn't see that coming, but Chelsea...
Well, no, failed. Bad one, but it was blocked.
Yeah, but failed to really punish the error there from Charlton. Playing out the back, it was a really poor pass, and Chelsea would have hoped to find something from that, but that is the threat that, was it Lucky spoke about on the counter. Charlton will win. If they win the ball back, they will take it and they will run at Chelsea, and they've proven that there. Chelsea have got to be careful that doesn't happen too many times, because eventually Charlton will score from it.
Yeah, the right winger looked really fast there. It's difficult for Millie Bright to keep up. Beyond into Lauren James. I'm quite enjoying the interchangeability already on this right-hand side. We've seen LJ dropping into almost a right-back position and letting Bronze get forward. We've seen her coming inside into the half space, which is where she'll operate a lot today as Bronze overlaps. And that's really interesting to see how she can perform in that role, because she's very good as an attack midfielder. And so I think you can utilise that same ability playing off the right-hand side, given how this Chelsea system operates.
Yeah.
Here is Sandy Baltimore. But it means you can overlap on both wings now with Bronze and Baltimore. Here is Sandy Baltimore. Not really able to find a way past. That's a lovely bit of skill, though. And she'll carry the ball forward to Chelsea. Pokes it to Guro Wrighton ball into the box. But that is claimed well by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, great as well there, just to get there. I think it was Lauren James was making the run in. But tidy play from Chelsea again. It was a lovely piece of footwork from Baltimore to get herself out of trouble and past the defender. And it's not a bad ball in from Guro, but when Ramirez makes the front post run, and you kind of want to be hitting her the cross rather than hitting it over her head and asking Lauren James to win a header, which she can do, but it's not. Well, I wouldn't say it's her best strength.
No. Anyway, Charlton now with this throw-in. Pierce trying to find Moya. Does now find Moya. Sonia Baltimore missing that interception. And she's looked really dangerous. That's a silly foul from Millie Bright. And Charlton progressing with the ball regardless. And then Lauren James commits a foul as well. Just tripping the player.
That hasn't been given. So it will be a Chelsea throw.
Well, to be fair, the player's not got too much complaints. Perhaps the player went down there on her own accord. She did. I mean, I think if she was clipped there, she may have been complaining for that. A bit more aggressively. Chelsea throw here. Not exactly sure how that has been given that way.
Thought Kat Macari ran off the pitch herself there.
That's what it looked like to me as well. But here's Bright. Now up wide to Baltimore. Back to Millie Bright. And it says, how high a priority is the FA Cup for you boys from a Chelsea perspective? It's not as high as, of course, as the Champions League or the WSL, but it's still a competition with a lot of prestige. It's always going to rank higher than the Subway Cup in my estimations, because the FA Cup does carry that certain level of prestige and history. So yeah, it's not the most important, but Chelsea are a side that want to be winning every competition they enter, and the FA Cup is no different in that regard.
Yeah. Especially having not won it last year, I think Chelsea will view it as a must. Well, not must win, but they'll want to win it. They'll want to have their hands back on it.
Yeah, I mean, Sonia's already spoken this season about her desire to win every competition.
Yeah,
and it's exactly what you want to hear from a fan's perspective.
Yeah, it's incredible that a manager is very open. I like how open a manager is about wanting to win everything.
Yeah,
that's the aim.
Ball into the box, and that's headed away. Millie Bright competes and wins it. Bjorn pokes that over the bar. But there is a concern here as she caught one of the Charlton defenders. The skipper, in actual fact. But she's all right. Scales.
Yeah, and talking about winning those competitions, it starts with games like today, and that's why Sonia has gone for a strong side. Is because, this is as much as this might be an easier game for Chelsea. It's still got to put out a statement. Still got to get through the game.
Goes long. That's one back by Bjorn. Falls for Ramirez, who then loses possession. Skills tries to play it forwards. One back in there by Bjorn. Now Bronze. Cuthbert. Bjorn. Poor pass, and Jean-Francois won't get there. Phyllis manages to find Moya. Charlton coming forward here, looking dangerous. Pass goes out wide right into Pearce. Pearce puts it into the box. It's brought down in there. Falls to Moya, who takes aim, and that's collected well by Hannah Hampton. But Charlton are causing the champions and the WSL leaders problems here.
It's exactly what we expected in terms of for Chelsea. It's been a really scrappy start, and everything has just been very, very sloppy. And Charlton are showing that they will take advantage of that. That's two really good opportunities now for Moya when the ball's fallen to her and she's got a decent shot away, and Hannah Hampton has done well to claim it. But if that keeps happening, Charlton will score. Chelsea have got to be careful here. It's been a really just
lethargic, I think is the way I'd describe it. Chelsea haven't looked sharp, and that's another poor pass. Cuthbert blindsided to the player behind her, and here they come. Green takes aim, saved again by Hannah Hampton, but 3 big stops already from the Chelsea goalkeepers. Not what she would have expected from this afternoon.
Natty Bjorn has played more passes to Charlton players than Chelsea players in this game so far. Really shoppy. Chelsea just don't look sharp at all. And this is why Sonia would have wanted to start the full strength side for this exact reason. Because Chelsea would rather that this type of performance happens at the start of this game rather than happens at the start of the West Ham game next week. But it's been a slow start, but they're gonna hope
so. Lovely bit of skill from Lauren James there, just to play out of trouble. Shifts it across to Millie Bright.
Charlton are doing a really good job of sitting so deep defensively, but when they get the ball, they spring forward so quickly, and they manage to get quite a few numbers forward as well.
Carrying it forwards, finds Lauren James. James takes aim, and that is jumped on well by Gray, and she will hold this ball and give Charlton a momentary respite. By the way, in the Men's FA Cup, Newcastle 0, Bromley 1.
Wow.
And what a huge start to the game for that League 2 side.
I love FA Cup. FA Cup weekend as a whole is just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
In both men's and women's football, there's upsets, there's shocks, and Charlton are looking to prove one once again as Millie Bright is all over the place. He's getting hounded here by the Charlton forward and is forced to put out for a throw.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. And they just long ball, and Bright is immediately under pressure and forced to run back towards their own net.
Charlton are really effectively deploying the counter-attack, and they know that's how they can hurt Chelsea, because Chelsea's backline isn't the fastest.
Yeah.
You've got an ageing Lucy Bronze, an ageing Millie Bright in there. Natalie Bjorn isn't slow, but she's not fast.
Started really poorly.
Yeah.
It's the bonus.
And then suddenly Baltimore isn't really a defender.
No.
Jean-Francois.
Charlton have done really well, and they've started very intense. They've been really hard and fast. The thing for Chelsea, they know that Charlton cannot keep this up for 90 minutes. The question is can Charlton, while they've got this kind of period where they are challenging Chelsea, can they get a goal? Because if they get a goal, and suddenly they give themselves a chance. If they fail to score, though, I just see them kind of losing steam towards the end of the game.
Emily says it's a disappointing start for Chelsea. Do you think this could be the season that Chelsea finally do a quadruple? It's definitely a possibility. I think it's one of the more plausible seasons to do it because of the lack of strength in the WSL for a change. I think the fact that none of City, Arsenal, United are settled, which we've not seen in years, this is the most dominant Chelsea have looked for a very long time. I think there's a good chance they can win all three domestic competitions. The big question then comes in about the Champions League. But I think most Chelsea fans would sacrifice all three domestic competitions if it means winning the Champions League. But I'm not sure they have to.
No.
Here is Baltimore unable to get that under control. Another misplaced pass for Chelsea as their sloppy start continues. Charlton now with a throw, just waiting for a ball.
Oh, and whoever kicked it has failed to get through the gate, and someone's finally found.
Yeah. The problem is it's the press section there, so they're all sat there with their laptops, and no one want to get up and get the ball.
They're probably writing about the ball has just left the pitch and landed at my feet.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind, incredible analysis that they're looking for. But credit to Charlton, we're 10 minutes through here, and they've been in this game. It's been quite even.
Baltimore manages to win back that ball and sends it forward, and Mayra Ramirez will put the backline under pressure here. Despite the best attempts there of Charlton's defence, they're muscled off by Ramirez. Now Kat Macario drills it low into the box, and that is cleared away without much issue by Skeels.
Again, Chelsea find themselves, Ramirez, they're going to cross it in. Ramirez has to be in that box. Because if not, there's no point putting the ball in.
Here is Kat Macario. Phyllis all over her back. Manages to find Ramirez, who wants to take players on here. Goes to Macario. Breaking into the penalty area. That pass, though, misplaced. And one back. Baltimore trying to get under control, but can't keep it in the pitch.
Yeah, really poor from Baltimore again. Yeah, that just needs a simple touch and play. And she just gets it all wrong. It has been an encouraging start for Charlton and a slow start for Chelsea.
Yeah, lacklustre display so far. Here is Piers.
The Chelsea have shown signs of some good stuff, but it's now just bronze. There's a few too many errors happening, which is just slowing the game down, stopping any rhythm building.
Yeah. Millie Bright now across to Natalie Bjorn. And Chelsea will look to bring it down the right-hand side. Bronze. James, that's a great turn there. Puts it into the penalty area. Chance for Chelsea, not met by either Mayra Ramirez or Guro Wrighton. But a good opportunity, all coming from Lauren James.
Well, that's exactly what Lauren James can do. It's a lovely little dummy. Just lets the ball run through her legs and runs onto it. And it's a great knock ball in as well. And I think Ramirez were disappointed to head it. And Guro Wrighton were even more disappointed to not get a foot on the end of it. Great ball in. And neither of the two in the penalty area could get anything on it. Not even a flick.
Yeah, Bright. Can't quite pick out Erin Cuthbert. And it is Charlton to come away with possession. Now Bright to Baltimore. That was an odd choice of pass from Millie Bright. Made it really difficult, but Chelsea have done well to hold on to possession. Back now to Millie Bright. It's a first 13 minutes where both the centre-backs haven't looked great. And it's a window that's already seen speculation, particularly around the name Naomi Girma, which I think is a name we're going to be mentioning a lot over the next month. But already speculation over centre-backs. Already people talking about, well, if a centre-back was to come in, who would start for Chelsea? It's not a good start for either Bjorn or Bright. And Brion again giving away possession there. They will get away with it as Charlton try and rush the ball forwards.
The problem is it's a poor pass in there, actually. I think it's from Baltimore that has just forced Bjorn to... Admittedly, Bjorn shouldn't have done what she did, but because it was such a poor pass, Bjorn's then just trying to rush it so that she doesn't actually get caught on the ball and ends up just passing it to another Charlton player.
Just feels uncomposed and big tackle there on Lauren James. But she is all right, fortunately.
But again, that pass, that situation, James should just be able to get to that ball and play with it.
Cuthbert into Guro Wrighton. Wrighton tries to put it in the box, and that's blocked, and now they'll look to play out. One back in there by Cuthbert.
But that's the first bit of assertive play I think was in for any Chelsea player. Erin Cuthbert there.
Francois. Now Lucy Bronze. James. Bronze. Macario into Jean-Francois. Flicks it to Lauren James. James takes aim, and that's saved well by the goalkeeper, Gray. For the first time, we've seen Lauren James unleash a shot. And it was a lovely work move by Chelsea. James didn't quite drive much power for this. Really good defending, actually. From, I think it's Phyllis in there. No, it's Bradley. Just gives her a nudge.
It was a strange one. I think that James looked to curl it into the far corner, but when she looked up, Gray was already stood in the far corner. So she's actually trying to bring it back to the centre of the goal, and Gray has managed to recover. But I think if Lauren will be disappointed because if she put that on if she put that on the right hand side of the goal, the kid wouldn't have stood a chance because she was stood in the far on the other side of the net.
Yeah. Here's Erin Cuthbert, receives it from Hampton, and now will look to play out. Goes across to Bright. Now Kat Macario holds it up well. Bjorn. Bronze, and that's a poor touch. You can't blame that one on Bjorn's pass. Bronze has got to be sharper there.
Chelsea's back four haven't turned up today.
No. But again, this is what you expect after a few weeks of not playing. That there's a bit of sloppiness. Few too many errors creeping in. I say a few too many. It's just constant errors at the moment. Bronze. Cuthbert. Now Bright. Cuthbert finds Ramirez. Now Bronze. Here is Lauren James. James goes across to Bright. Bright now into Sandy Baltimore. Jean-Francois. And now Natalie Bjorn. Cuthbert. And Ramirez tries to get a flick on in there, but can't. And that's out of play for a Chelsea throw.
Better from Chelsea. Just a good period of some consistent, accurate passes. And I like that from Ramirez trying the flick.
Ramirez holds on to that ball nicely, and there is a nudge in there, and she's forced to run it off. Somehow that is a corner. But there wasn't much complaint there, and that's what's got to be better, really, from the Charlton players. It's got to be a bit more convincing there.
Because everyone in this ground, on the pitch, has watched Ramirez just run off the pitch there.
Yeah. No idea. Guro Wrighton, ball in towards the back post, headed down. No Chelsea player able to get a touch on it. It's cleared away and out of danger. And Charlton at the moment are doing a really good job of just keeping Chelsea quiet.
It's on my Ramirez. Is my main praise. Is they're doing so well up against Ramirez. We've seen her must have some of the best centre halves in the world. Charlton are doing really well to be physical themselves.
Ball in and Ramirez can't meet it.
Yes, she was left unmarked there, but she didn't get to the header, so they won't worry about that one. But apart from that, they've done very well at just being assertive and being dominant against Ramirez.
O'Brien says, is it sustainable to keep Sam Kerr, Maya Ramirez, Mia Fischel and Aggie Beaver-Jones? Do we end up selling or loaning someone out? I think it is until the end of this season, because by the time that Fischel and Kerr come back from injury, it won't be in the transfer window. So we can't really loan any of those out, and we can't afford to loan anyone out until they are back, because then we don't have any players. I think Ramirez and Kerr are going nowhere. I don't think Aggie Beaver-Jones is going anywhere, but I think she will be used on the wing. It'll then just be what happens with Mia Fischel. I think if Beaver-Jones is going to be used as more of a winger, then Fischel could stay, because there will be enough minutes, I think, to go round then amongst three strikers. especially considering she won't be back from injury until mid-February. So I think it is sustainable to keep all four, depending on what Beaver Jones is being used as. If she's used as a striker, I think Fischel will probably be loaned out next season or sold, if depending on what Chelsea want to do there. I think Beaver Jones will possibly be used as a winger, and then Fischel kept as a striker. So depends, but I would predict Beaver Jones will continue to be used as a striker because she's playing very well there, and that they will loan or sell Fischel in the summer. Again, it depends on what Sam Kerr's future plan is. If they know that Kerr is going to leave at the end of her current contract, which expires in 2026, end of next season, then I think they'll loan Fischel with the view that she'd return to the first team for the season after.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Pause in play here, by the way, as Gray is down receiving some treatment. I think it's genuine. I'd be surprised if they were taking the 18th minute as an opportunity to slow the game down. But, credit to Charlton. They've done very well. They've started very fast here. And it's giving Chelsea an opportunity to have a meeting of a huddle of their own in the middle of the pitch. Yeah. Charlton, they've got some instructions on the ball. The keeper looks to be all right. So they'll hope to keep this up, Charlton. Just that was a good opportunity there, just to take a breather, really. But they've kept themselves in this game. We're 20 minutes in now.
Yeah, Chelsea having the better of the chances, but it didn't come until late in that first half. So we are now resuming play after that break.
That's the thing, Charlton have had 2 or 3 opportunities where they now have 3 shots that have, been claimed. Yes, but claimed easily by Hannah Hampton, but they've had 3 shots that have been at Hampton, which is the main thing for Charlton.
Yeah. Ball down the line then from Pearce. Header 1 in there by Wrighton. Makara tries to flick it on. Baltimore gets there. Jean-Francois can't do much with that, but it does manage to win a throw, which he'll drop to Sandy Baltimore. Emily asks, what do you think of Julia Bartel coming to us on loan? Is there anything you can share about her? What's she like on the pitch? Are you pleased to going on loan, getting more minutes? Yeah, I think it's a win-win-win, really. Obviously, Liverpool have been light in midfield this season. I think Bartel will add creativity. I think she'll add legs. And most importantly, she's fit, which is really important for Liverpool right now. They need midfielders who can play. As for Chelsea, she wasn't ready, I don't think, yet for starting minutes. I think she was not quite at the level of Jean-Francois. And obviously with Nuskin in there, with Captain, with Cuthbert, it's going to be very difficult to see her getting many minutes.
Yeah.
So that's why they've chosen to loan her out. It's a really good deal, I think, for all parties. Bartel will get more minutes, get more WSL experience. I think it'll give Chelsea a really good indication of where she's at, because she's not ready yet for Chelsea first team action, but maybe in 6 months' time she will be. In which case Chelsea then have an incredible depth in midfield. So I think that's a really good move for all parties.
Yeah, in there with Sam Kerr as well, who Liverpool also signed,
Kerr, of course,
is really important. And Liverpool have done very, very well so far to reinforce that midfield. Obviously, Herbing will be back soon. Nagano has been incredible, but they do need to. Her contract is up in the summer, so that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. But yeah, good stuff from Liverpool.
Yeah, I think it's a good addition. Here's Lauren James. Obviously, Liverpool not in action this weekend after their game in the FA Cup was called off due to the cold and the pitch. That's a shot, and that's a brilliant save from Gray to deny Lauren James. Now here's Sandy Baltimore, puts the ball back in the box, headed away. Could fall in there for Jean-Francois. It will, but it's not a shooting opportunity. Chelsea will recycle possession. Bjorn switches it out to Sandy Baltimore, who'll do very well to keep it in, and does. Jean-Francois. That's a misplaced pass to Baltimore. Sloppy.
Better from Chelsea, a really good chance and a lovely save. But yeah, as I was saying at that Liverpool point, the reason that is important is the fact that obviously Matt Beard would have served a suspension in the FA Cup. He won't do that, yeah. So he won't be on the touchline for Brighton, I assume.
Of course, yeah. Think not, no.
Because he's picked up 3 yellow cards now in domestic competitions for Liverpool, which isn't great. Not quite what you want from your manager. But yeah, Liverpool are doing well, but they look set to have a better 2025 than they look set to have a better second half of the season than they did in the first. But that there for Chelsea, that chance from Lauren James, very good stop from Gray, signs that Chelsea are starting to get into this game.
Yeah. Jean-Francois. I was just confused there because Cuthbert and Macario are marking the same player, and Cuthbert told Macario to go for the deeper player, which doesn't make any sense.
No.
And then obviously that player was left unmarked because Macario was also confused by that instruction. Maya Ramirez. By the way, Chelsea are coming forwards now. Bronze. They've not had it all their own way though, Chelsea, to start this game. Cuthbert, Jean-Francois. Waits for Sandy Baltimore to get up. Passes back to Jean-Francois. She's looked a lot less sharp in today's game than she has in a lot of games, Jean-Francois. I think when we've seen her get cameo appearances, when we've seen her play in the Women's Champions League, I think she's looked quite good. Today, she's not really. I think there's a few too many misplaced passes, not really able to get the ball under control effectively. I don't think it's been her best performance. Obviously, we're only 24 minutes in. That can change very quickly. But, yeah, definitely some questions.
Yeah. Along with a Baltimore there, it's just another misplaced pass, trying to find Gura Wrighton. But I think the key thing to note as well at the moment is that the change that has happened in the last 5 minutes is that when Charlton were winning the ball back in the early stages, they were retaining it and they were going forward. We're now starting to see a few interceptions where they cut out the pass, or yes, they win the ball back, but it just keeps going back to Chelsea and they just keep recycling it. And Charlton are starting to struggle to get themselves on the ball consistently.
Yeah. Cuthbert. Macario. Now Bright. Also looks quite quiet at Kingsmeadow today. And I know it's cold and it's understandably therefore not a sellout by any stretch, but it does look quiet.
It does. Apart from Basil, who is there in a t-shirt.
Insane.
In the coldest day.
I'm freezing just in the studio, to be honest.
It's in the coldest weekend of winter, and he is outside in trousers and a t-shirt.
Yeah. Insane.
What a man. He'll be getting the Chelsea crowd going. I bet he's having a great day.
I hope he's had that quality straight.
Yeah.
But yeah. Goal kick, free kick for Charlton. Gray will send it long. Wolves 1-0 up against Cheltenham women as well. And Rugby 5-0 up now, Rianne Bush with that.
London Bees. A very disappointing showing.
Yeah.
But a huge result for Rugby Borough.
Indeed. Here is Lucy Bronze looking to cross it. Goes to Lauren James. James manages to find Macario, who was caught there in the challenge. Pulled back, and it will be given as a free kick. And this is the kind of territory Chelsea have players who can cause a bit of damage from.
Yeah.
Macario's over it. I'd be surprised if James's name's not in the conversation. Gura Wrighton will be looking at it as well. Definitely players who can cause an issue here.
These are the type of situations Charlton have done well to avoid so far, but now they've got, you cannot afford to give away free kicks in your own penalty, around your own penalty area.
Yeah.
But they have given one away here. And they're going to have to be aware. It looks like Guro or Cat Macario to take it. It's a great opportunity, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, close proximity. You'd have to think this would be a shot on goal rather than a cross, and it will, and it's blocked by the wall. Will be kept alive here by Guro Wrighton. Wrighton whips it into the box. It's headed on, and it's cleared away. Chelsea battling away for possession. Here's Sandy Baltimore now.
Charlton are doing really well to make this game as scrappy as possible.
Here's Bright. Yeah.
They've got a bit of bite about them. They've got a bit of, assertiveness. They are happy to put their body on the line to be strong against Chelsea. Well, the Bronze is just dancing away down the right-hand side here.
Carries it forwards well. It's then blocked before it enters the box.
Again, another key block, but it is a corner and a good opportunity. The Wall did their job there superbly for that free kick.
Yeah, got the timing of the jump right, blocked the shot.
Yeah, we're approaching the half-hour mark here, and Charlton are only 15, 20 minutes away from getting into half-time at 0-0. But they can't look at it like that. They've got to just take it, every minute, every 5 minutes.
Ball in towards the near post, and it's headed on, but no one in there. In a blue shirt pouncing on it. Lauren James will stand on the edge of the box. Here's Macario. Wants to take players on really well from Cat Macario, and then flying in with a challenge there. And that's cleared away by the fullback.
Yeah, big clearance. Initially, a bit of poor defending, let Cat Macario skip there. It is a really good clearance. I felt like that for a minute. She could have shielded the ball and seen it out for a goal kick, but...
Yeah, Hutton there, the left wing back, just smashing through the ball.
I think the ball's left the ground, so we had to get a new one.
Yeah.
But we have found another one, which is good. Someone will find out on the road later.
Finders keepers. That's a match used Women's FA Cup ball shot for Aaron Cuthbert, blocked over, and that will be another Chelsea corner. They're starting to pile the pressure on now, are Chelsea?
Yeah, Charlton getting bodies in the way, but they can't do this for 90 minutes. There's another good shot from Cuthbert. And a really good block flicked behind off the head of the centre half. Chelsea, it's almost rugby-like.
Really well flicked on, actually, by Scales.
It's almost rugby-like in terms of the way that Chelsea go in. There's a big tackle, so they have to shift it to this. Let's go sideways. Another big tackle, shift it sideways so someone can get a shot away.
Prodding, yeah. Guro right turn. That is not the best of balls, but it's haphazardly cleared, and it's going to fall for Cat Macario, who can take aim, but it's blocked again by Hutton. And that is a Chelsea throw.
Really good stuff. But again, Charlton adapting to the situation very well. Didn't get caught out by that lackluster clearance. You know, they adapted to it and they read what the situation and what was going to happen. It was another key block from Hutton.
Yeah, and Wright and Bjorn seem to swap sides. I'm not sure if that is a permanent thing.
It's interesting if it is.
Right, Cat loses it. And that's blocked by Jean-Francois, and then out for a Charlton throw.
And again, Charlton game management as well. They've got spot on so far. You know, they're taking the time of everything. And yes, it's the 30th minute, but at the end of the day, it won't all go into added time. And it's easier to do. Taking little bits here and there out of the game won't get caught onto as much as taking
really
one chance.
Good there from Lucy Bronze. Gets caught with a late challenge, but Chelsea can come forward to Sondi Baltimore, who has stopped and turned back. I'm not really sure why. Bright looks to switch the play to find Lauren James. James's header down is lost by Chelsea, but then won back by Aaron Cuthbert. Jean-Francois. Baltimore. Jean-Francois. Now Bjorn. Bronze and their efforts blocked. Cuthbert comes inside. Macario, and that is again cleared away convincingly. Bright cushions it down to Bjorn. Cuthbert. Trying to just wriggle her way into a bit of space. Macario finds Lucy Bronze. Bronze puts it into the box. Held up well by Maya Ramirez, who will do really well, but then their effort is saved. Held onto the ball well, and we catch a glimpse of Basil behind the goal. But he held onto it. She held onto it well, brought it down well, managed to fashion a shooting opportunity from it, muscling off the defender, and then takes aim. And a player saved there.
Charlton is going to get 4 bodies in front of the shot in the end.
Yeah.
Really good defending. I couldn't tell if it was saved or blocked, but good stuff from Charlton.
Ball into the box, and that is pushed away by Gray. LJ there does enough to stop Moya getting there. Ball into the box. Falls to Sondi. Baltimore takes aim. It's blocked by a Chelsea player in there. Ramirez pokes an effort goalwards. Not enough, though, to get it over the line. Chelsea back in possession, though. Jean-Francois now Bright.
Charlton are packing that penalty area, and it's working so far. They're getting so many bodies in there. Chelsea just can't get shots through.
There's Millie Bright again. Now Bjorn. Emily says, do you think Charlton should be pleased with themselves so far? What have you made of Chelsea so far in this game, boys? Charlton should be. Yeah, Chelsea have not been penetrative enough, which isn't a surprise. This Charlton shape looks like a 5-4-1 at the moment, which is difficult to break down. But, frustrating game so far.
But that's the thing, when you look at it there, Ramirez had a shot from 6 yards out, and there's 2 or 3 players behind the ball, which is incredible. Because, how there's that many players between Charlton's 6-yard box and their goal is working.
Where are they all standing? Yeah. Here's Macario trying to wriggle her way through. Can't. And now they'll look to play out. Scuffed clearance. Cuthbert gets there. Jean-Francois. James touches it onto Bronze. They exchange passes. Bronze now. Ball into the box. That is blocked. James will try and get there. And she does well. Then puts the ball into the box. Ramirez touch. Can't quite get the shot away before the ball is just cleared away.
There was a moment in there where Kat Macario got space in the penalty area. She had to pull the trigger. She took too long and it allowed Charlton to get back in and make a tackle. Just had to have a shot. Because there was no one in front of her for the first time in this game.
Yeah. 2-0 Wolves, by the way.
That's good for them. Gives them a buff up.
Against Cheltenham. Beth Merrick with the goal. Ramirez to James. A nice touch away from the defender, but she blasts the shot over the bar.
Really nice stuff. She had to take she had to take herself wide because, to give her a chance to get a clean shot away without it being blocked. But in the end,
it's a lovely give and go between herself and Ramirez. Touches it away from the defender. Had to rush, as you say, to get that shot away. Couldn't quite keep it on target.
Good defending in the end from Hobson because she has to sprint back in a panic, but what it does is she sprints back and she forces James just to take that wide, gets the right side of James and manages just to see her out. And luckily the shot was pretty poor from James in the end.
Yeah, decent again there from Hutton. 10 minutes left of the first half. A player on the ground now for Charlton.
Yeah, you think this will contribute to a pretty healthy added time. We had Gray down for Charlton as well.
And Chelsea again in a huddle to try and figure out what's going wrong. Bright, seemingly the most vocal.
Bronze fancies a sit down as well. Been 35 minutes, so. But Chelsea don't necessarily look tired.
Cuthbert returns with some instructions.
Looks that to me looked really convincing from Erin Cuthbert.
Oh, she seems to have just copied exactly how Von Foster delivered it with the hands, gestures and all.
Yeah. But I think that Chelsea don't look knackered. I think
they haven't got out of second gear.
Yeah. And that'll be worrying for Charlton. But at the end of the day, if Chelsea don't get out of second gear, they'll be in this game.
Cold day, the car's refusing to start. Just get a bit of de-icer on it.
Yeah.
Don't know how that helps it start, but I don't really know where this analogy's going, but that's what they got to do.
Yeah, we're going to carry on. We're going to move on from that because we're ready to play football again.
Yes. Green is fine, seemingly.
Battles with the Charlton fans.
I was confused by that as well. Maybe just making friends.
Yeah, he's just walking around the ground, just having a chat. He will chat to anyone.
Indeed.
But Greg will get us underway again. 9 minutes now until the half. That'll be the aim for Charlton. Hold on for 9-10 minutes and see yourselves 0-0 at half time.
Ball goes long from Gray. One in there by Natalie Bjorn. Jean-Francois and Wrighton exchanging headers. And the ball trying to be seen out there and is successfully seen out by Endo.
Smart play that. Again, switched on stuff from Charlton. Doesn't need to just knock it out and give away a Chelsea throw for no reason. Just sees it out, uses her strength.
Wrighton wins the header.
Again, Charlton do well to win that. They have lost it though.
There's Lauren James. As Baltimore as an option. Does use Sondy Baltimore now, who has lost possession, but it is out for a Chelsea throw. Jean-Francois. Now Erin Cuthbert. Here is Bjorn. Bjorn knocks it wide into Lucy Bronze. Bronze finds James. Macario plays into the space vacated by James, which is Erin Cuthbert, who just places it wide. And the good opportunity. Cuthbert should have been doing better than that.
Cuthbert's got to do better. It's the first time Chelsea managed to wriggle through and find a bit of space. Again, there is pressure with the shot. And again, it's good defending. There's a challenge. It is off-putting, but at the end of the day, Cuthbert has got to hit the target from that kind of range. Yeah, she's 10, 15 yards out there and has a good opportunity to strike it. Yes, there was a player coming across, but they didn't block it as such.
Jean-Francois, now Guro Wrighton. Ball into the box. It's just behind Mayra Ramirez. Jean-Francois, that is a haphazard attempt at putting it back in the box. And that's cleared away by Charlton. CFC Riley, welcome to the stream. Back with the negativity, as always. Riley saying, wonder what the Chelsea fans' excuse will be for this lacklustre performance. Good to see you too, mate. Here is Baltimore. Gives it to Bright.
I think the 3 or 4 week break might have something to do with it.
Possibly. Might be an explanation. But no. I don't jump to such severe conclusions until 90 minutes have been played, at the very least. Bronze. Ball in, and there we go. Chelsea take the lead. It's flicked on well by Mayra Ramirez, and it's Chelsea 1, Charlton 0. There was a claim from the Charlton players that the ball left the pitch before Bronze put the ball in. But alas, their complaint will fall on deaf ears. It's Chelsea 1, Charlton 0. Mayra Ramirez flicking it on wonderfully at the near post.
Yeah, Charlton have done very, very well. It'll be interesting to see. It's a good ball in from Bronze. And it just takes
a deflection. Yeah. I'm not sure what their complaint is. That's not left the field.
Oh no, I think it's more at each other.
15 seems to be complaining about something.
Yeah.
Not sure what, but alas, it's Chelsea 1, Charlton 0. Mayra Ramirez with the goal.
And that was coming, and Charlton have done very, very well for 40 minutes. But as the half goes on, Chelsea have found the breakthrough.
It's the first time they've just not been able to handle Ramirez's physicality and presence, box presence, and that's why Chelsea lead for this game by a goal to 0. Charlton going long with that ball immediately. They've clearly got a strategy to deploy. It's not worked out though, and Chelsea have a throw-in, which Bronson and James have made a bit of a mess of here.
And they've lost the
back in Charlton's possession. Maybe that was their plan all along. Phillips plays it inside. Moya. And Doe. Now into Skeels. A pass wide, and it's flicked on well, and they're in behind here. Here's Green. Green looks to play across the box. Bright with brilliant defending, and then clears it away comfortably.
Lovely ball in behind with the outside of the boot there.
Yeah, and the weight of the pass as well to get that right. A really well executed pass. And it cut open Chelsea like a hot knife through butter. Luckily, though, the only thing that could stop hot knives through butter, Millie Bright.
Don't try it, though.
Yeah. Don't put a hot knife through Millie Bright just to test.
That's important for Chelsea because they have a lead now, and at the very end of things, the minimum they can do today is just see this out their through.
Ryan says, didn't United also have a break and didn't they win 7-0? Anyway, I guess since we're leading, we're playing well. Oh yes, and United also led 1-0 until the 78th minute, and then they won 7-0.
They scored 6 goals in 18 minutes at the end of the game.
We could just wait, and then we'll score 7 in the last 18 minutes, and then we will have played brilliantly. Look, can't wait for that. Ball into the box, and it's headed on target. Fantastic stop by Gray.
That's a really good save.
But there is a player down in the box in the aftermath of that.
Again, Charlton are having just to rush back in because Chelsea have burst forwards. It's Ramirez's head. That's a superb save.
There's a few players that I think it's the Charlton players coming together. Actually, I don't think it's off of a Chelsea player.
Oh yeah, Ramirez just had the ball. She didn't.
I think it's the two Charlton players rushing to try and get back in that have come together there. But also, Riley, Manchester United played West Brom, who are National League, and Charlton are Championship, so more difficult as well. And Charlton have played well. They've made a good account of themselves here. They're playing a 5-4-1. They made themselves really difficult to break down, really difficult to beat. Gray's had a good performance as well. Another huge stop there to deny Chelsea. So, I mean, we're going to have a lengthy stoppage time at the end of this first half. Hopefully, the Charlton player is all right here because she's still on the deck.
But Chelsea have done what they need to do. At the end of the day, today is about getting the job done. And so far they're doing that. They've got the goal. This is the most important thing. If they get a couple more, looks lovely. But if they don't score, if it finishes 1-0, it finishes 1-0. It doesn't matter. Chelsea are through.
Yeah, you want this to be convincing. You want it to be a game that you get excited about. But ultimately, the result's the most important thing. As long as they progress in the FA Cup, today isn't too important. As I say, it's just a necessary stepping stone to what they want to go on and achieve this season. If they can get this job done professionally, I think that would be, the minimum. If they can get it done quickly and effectively, I think that would please them, because it's a big January ahead, a lot of games, and then obviously, as those domestic cups start to stack up, we then get into the continental season as well. So lots of games on the horizon. Chelsea will be hoping just to get through the second half. Still got a while left in this first half potentially, because I think we could easily have 5, 6, 7 minutes of additional time.
I think Chelsea would just be happy to be playing today, because there are so many teams due to the postponements this weekend. There's so many teams that have had to have got an extra fixture added to their schedule. Blackburn, Plymouth, they should be okay, because they have scheduled it in for this coming Wednesday, the 15th.
Yeah,
which is pretty smart. But obviously, that's not as easy as it's not possible for many other teams. So
West Ham have done the end. West Ham Liverpool with the end of January, 29th of January, I think it is.
And that's going to be the same game. Up for Arsenal, for example, they want to challenge in the other 3 competitions, but they've now got an added FA Cup fixture that they're going to have to play at some point in January.
Yeah,
I believe the FA Cup weekend is the second week of Feb. I think I want to say the 13th of Feb. Might be wrong, actually. Might be 13th, but I think it's the second week. Yeah.
Because the first weekend of Feb is the 1st, I think.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that week, yeah.
And it's the second weekend of Feb, but it's like the 8th. Anyway, Chelsea, we've got 7 minutes of additional time. I don't know why they've called it extra time on this broadcast. Ball into the box, and that is headed away. Bronze will try and keep it alive. Falls for Ramirez. So Bronze are sort of on top of each other here. Bronze doesn't come away with the ball, though. Ramirez down holding her ankle. But as Chelsea are on the attack, I think she'll try and get back to her feet and out of the way at least. Here is Jean-Francois. Bronze. Back to Orient Jean-Francois. Ball in. Chance, there's a penalty shout in there. Ramirez brought down. And it has been given, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't see the referee. We just see the reaction of the Charlton players who look annoyed. So you would assume that's a penalty for Chelsea.
Oh, the goalkeeper sat down as well.
And to be honest, I think that is the right decision. Ramirez is held in there. It's tough. I can see the frustration from Charlton players, but you can make the argument there that Ramirez heads home that ball. She's not being pulled down.
Yeah, but I think I think it's an interesting one. I think there's a very good argument that Ramirez has just gone for a diving header and is already falling over. I'm not sure why Gray sat on the floor again.
I don't know. I think
she could try and
take the penalty while she sat there. I think that's why Bron's taking this ball, because whoever's actually taking the penalty would be there for ages. I imagine it's Guro Wrighton that will take this eventually. Right, so when Chelsea play poorly, it's always the other team play well. Why is it never Chelsea concede way too many chances and make silly mistakes in possession? Well, Riley, I know you joined our broadcast late, but we have criticised Chelsea when they were playing poorly. The last 10 minutes that you've been watching have not been poor, though. Chelsea have had all of the possession. Chelsea have been creating chances. And now they have a chance to put themselves 2 goals in front in this game.
Still no goalkeeper. There we go. Gray is back in the net.
Guro Wrighton from 12 yards to add to our account for the season. The keeper doesn't look particularly central. And she won't get there anyway. Chelsea 2, Charlton 0. A well-taken penalty from Guro Wrighton doubles the Blues' lead in the first half of this game. We've still got 5 minutes of additional time on the clock. And Charlton will be frustrated. A sloppy way to concede. And they've gone from holding firm for 40 minutes to finding themselves 2 goals down.
It's a hell of a penalty from Guro Wrighton. Sends the keeper the wrong way and finds the very bottom corner. And Chelsea now have control over this cup tie. And going into half-time, they'll be very happy with a 2-goal margin. And we've still got 5 minutes to play in this half. Plus, I'll say 5 because it is technically 4, but they'll take a minute off for they'll add more on for the penalty.
Yeah, and Gray sitting down again.
Yeah.
Which not even the physio believed. Hutton goes to Green. Pass inside now. And Bronze unable to get there. That will go out though for a Chelsea goal kick.
It will be frustrating for Charlton to keep it at 0-0 for 40 minutes and then go into half-time 2-0 down. That will be frustrating because they were 5 minutes away from going into half-time level. I know they've added on 7, but it'll be one of those where they've taken themselves... The penalty has taken themselves out of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's... it's a game the thing is, it's a game they'd expect to lose, but the manner of the loss is always the most important thing. I think they can take great solace or solitude from the fact that they were very impressive for 40 minutes, and the manner in which they've conceded the goals has been very... I wouldn't say fortuitous, because Chelsea have done well to create the chances. That's another foul there on Myra Ramirez, and...
I think it's a bit of 50-50.
Okay, fair enough. Referee waved it away. No, it's out now anyway for a Chelsea goal kick and an offside. So double whammy.
Yeah. Ref just blow the whistle and give something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it. As I was saying, I think Charlton will take pride in their performance for the first 40 minutes. I think the result today doesn't matter that much, but the performance will be really important. They're in a tough spot in the Championship right now, but I think if they can look at how they've played today and apply that in the future, take a bit of confidence from this performance, I think that'll be really important. Obviously, it'll be difficult to do if they do go on to concede a few more in this game. If this does get to that 5, 6, 7 goal range that we've seen some of the predictions in chat be, but I think in terms of performance, there is a lot of positives to take so far.
Yeah.
Chelsea throw in. There's another one where it's difficult to say which way it's going, and the liner's given it the way of Chelsea.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And the Charlton defence are really not happy about it. Phyllis will clear that one. Bright misjudged it slightly, but adjusted well. Wrighton brings it down well, trying to turn. Has about 3 players on her back, though. Charlton's pressing is really impressive. They're very aggressive out of possession. They want to jump onto players quickly. But it's effective. It's mean Chelsea are struggling to break Charlton down because they don't have a second to think. Cuthbert. And that is cleared away. Obviously, if you execute that poorly, it can become very easy to play through because if you're jumping up at the wrong time and not in unison, it doesn't work. But it seems their out-of-possession shape is really good. Chance here for Chelsea. Charlton do well to deal with it, though. Gray's reactions to push it away from the goal. Ramirez. And that looked like a foul on Ramirez, but Bronze will try and dart away into the box. And then Cuthbert with a huge challenge to win the ball back for the Blues.
Yeah.
The game's just gone very messy in that corner, but they've played it out of there. And so Chelsea can just start playing football again.
We haven't conceded. Another good piece of heads-up goalkeeping from Gray. It was a ball that I think Bronze did extremely well to keep alive at the very back post, but Gray just dealt with it. Managed to get there ahead of Lauren James, and Charlton will be hoping to not concede any more.
Macario, Jean-Francois. Now Wrighton. Here's Kat Macario. Bjorn. Bronze. Now Ramirez. Bronze again. Cuthbert. Ramirez. Goes back to Natalie Bjorn. Brian says the biggest difference between the WSL and Championship teams come near the end of the half. Yeah, I think there are quite a few differences and quite a few significant ones, but that's definitely... Fatiguing is definitely one. You look at the facilities that WSL clubs have, especially at the real sharp end, and they are state-of-the-art. They are very effective for training. They'll have coaches who are very good at that fitness side of it and making sure the players are at the level required, which isn't the case for some of the smaller clubs who won't have those facilities, who won't have those coaches, those with the same sort of expertise. So, yeah, I definitely think that fatiguing will have an impact. I don't think that's been necessarily the case in this one. That is half-time here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea 2, Charlton 0. And a first half where Charlton battle hard, but Chelsea ultimately came through with goals from Myra Ramirez and Guro Wrighton from the spot to give them a 2-goal lead coming into the break. But I don't think it's necessarily true that this game has been a result of fatigue. Yes, you could argue Charlton's errors have come from fatigue, and that could be a valid analysis. But I think overall, Charlton defended really well. They continued to defend really well, and it was just unfortunate errors, really. I think they should have dealt better with the cross, but it was blocked. It fizzed up in the air, and it fell perfectly for Maya Ramirez. There's not a lot they could have done about that. And then the second one, the penalty, I thought it's a little bit dubious. Whether you give it or not, I'd need to see another replay. Unfortunately, we've only got one camera angle, so it's very difficult to get a good understanding of the challenge. But it did look like there was holding from number 6 on Maya Ramirez, so I can see why it was given in the moment. But yeah, I think Charlton will feel hard done by somewhat, because I don't think they've played badly at all. You see, it's the biggest problem has been Lucy Broms's right side. They've not dealt with her overlapping. They've not dealt with her crosses into the box. And it did feel inevitable that one of them was going to come to something. Yeah. And ultimately it did.
As you say, there's 3 or 4 balls in there from Bronze where, Lauren James had a shot brilliantly saved. Ramirez had an effort. There was a superb block. And to be honest, apart from the penalty, Charlton haven't put a foot wrong today. When they've got the opportunity, they've come forwards and tried to cause Chelsea issues. Defensively, they've got a body in front of everything, and that was actually their downfall for the first one. The fact that they managed to get a block in on the cross.
It was another cross that wasn't incredible. Like going for low crosses today, Chelsea were actually, I think, putting it in the air where you can really emphasise Ramirez's advantage would have been better.
Yeah, and with some big blocks and some body on the line defending, and some, it has to be also be said, some huge saves.
I think Grace had a good game.
They've done really well. The penalty will be a frustrating one because it's a sloppy one to give. Even if there's not much wrong with it, you can't put yourself in a position where you've got 2 hands on the striker.
Well, that's the thing. Even if you argue that's not enough contact, Pearce gives the referee a decision to make.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it's really difficult to assess. They tend to go with the attacker, especially considering Chelsea at home. Now, I don't think there's any bias, but there is always going to be that subconscious bias when everyone shouts referee, there's a penalty. I think Charlton have got to be more vocal. They're complaining after the fact about these throw-ins, but they've got to be going, that's our ball. They've got to be showing. Someone's got to run over there, grab it, because I think then you just convince the line a bit more. There's little things like that they can do to start to sway the tide in their favour. But I think overall, it's simply a matter of quality. Chelsea are just a better side, and that quality has prevailed in the first half.
Yeah, and I think Chelsea have got to a position where they're coming to enough. It looks like it will be a triple change at the second half. We're watching pictures of half-time here. That is 3 players warming up, and that is like
Vika captain, Aggie Beaver-Jones.
I think it's Nee Charles on the very left-hand side if she comes into shot. But
need her to jog up to the final.
It's a proper warm-up, that is. That's not just they're out on the pitch and they're knocking the ball around. They are the only 3 out, and they are...
They're not doing a crossfire challenge.
Yeah, and they're stripped down apart from a coat because it's freezing. But yeah, it's...
They're just wearing a coat, there they go.
They're ready to come onto the pitch, basically.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, Chelsea, that's kind of what you expect. I think they're just rotating. Give a half to certain players, give a half to others. But yeah, a good half for Chelsea. It's not been perfect, but it's in terms of, and it's not been necessarily an incredible performance, but in terms of, they've got a job to be done. If you are told Bombastor you'll be leading by 2 goals at half time when you haven't played extremely well, she would have taken it. There's a job to be done. At the end of the day in the FA Cup, whether you win 1-0 or 5-0, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's not going to give you an easier draw or anything. It doesn't. You're through. If you're through, you're through.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chelsea would want to score more goals and put on a really good show, but I think they'll be pretty happy with what they've done so far.
Yeah, I'd agree. As you say, this isn't a game where Chelsea will be. I don't think we'll draw too many conclusions from the performance. The result should stick. Obviously, if Chelsea are going to lose, that is a big talking point. But provided the result sticks, I don't think the performance will be too... I mean, personally, I won't take too much from the performance. I think overall, yes, it's definitely not been a vintage Chelsea display, but it doesn't need to be. Today is about getting through to the next round. So they can go on to win the competition, really.
Just happy to have a football game. To be honest, today I think we had 7, 8 games called off today. So it's just good to have a game of football to watch and to see. And what has been a miserable weekend of postponements and call offs. But there's still a game after this as well. I believe Bristol Rovers Aston Villa is still planned to go ahead. I haven't seen anything that would suggest it's not. But
it's at the moment planned. Yes.
So
that's a bit of Park though, isn't it?
No, it's at the Poundland Bescott Stadium.
Is that who's that the home of?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Because I was going to say there was a team that used it yesterday.
Yeah, I can't think now.
Team back, yeah.
But yeah,
there's 2 hours to kick off, and there's no sign of it getting called off.
Yeah.
So should be going ahead, which is good. It's a shame that there's been the number of call offs that there have been.
But obviously it's going to mean they'll get rearranged. It also means that the draw tomorrow is practically pointless because we don't know who's going to play who at all. Also, we know a couple, and also it depends if Chelsea could go out and we could get a Manchester derby, which I don't think we want because we're going to see that enough in 2025. I don't think we need to see it again.
It's another one.
But
we're constantly watching the Manchester derby.
I think Chelsea's the most important thing will be today is that this is another fixture ticked off. Because like for Arsenal, they've got to play their game against Bristol City before the end of January, in a month where they already have to play in the Conti Cup, and they've got to play 3 WSL games, which includes Chelsea away. It's not quite what you want. You don't want to be fixtures to start stacking up because
if they were to get to the Conti Cup final, for example, or the Subway League Cup final now, they would play. They'd have still another 2 fixtures in there, which is next midweek, and then I think is it a weekend the semis. I want to say there's a weekend for the.
No, I don't think it is.
Is it not?
It was midweek last week. It was Chelsea Man City as a midweek.
Well, was that not the quarterfinal?
No, it was the semi-final, I think.
Oh yeah, but yeah, so that will be. But that those fixtures are now starting to stack up. We've got further FA Cup action obviously in February. So if they are to win that rearranged fixture, as you said, those fixtures could start to stack up. And obviously with the Champions League on the horizon, coming up in March, it could if they are going deep in competitions, rearranging fixtures isn't ideal for anyone.
No, and it's a problem that Arsenal have to deal with, and they've also got quite not a difficult game in terms of it's going to be a tough one to win, but Bristol City have had they're having a good season. They are a good team. They've had a really good run of form. They find themselves second in the WSL in the Championship. So that won't be an easy game for Arsenal. Bristol City will put up a good fight, like Charlton have here. And I think Tottenham, you have to give credit to teams like Ipswich Town. They gave Man City a pretty good game, only losing 3-0, but saying there's 2 divisions between them.
Indeed, is
a great not a great result. It's never a great result if you lose, but it's an okay result. For City, I don't think I'll be too concerned. They rotated very heavily, and I think it was just more important that they did win the game. Especially the way it ended 2024, it was just important to win the match. Yeah,
definitely. Like he says, love the link-up plays so far, not forcing passes. Let's keep it up in the second half. Yeah, I think Charlton's low block's been really effective, and I think that Chelsea have been decent. They've been probing at it for a while, but when they have had an opportunity to break it down, they have done quite effectively, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I think they have managed to create gaps. They have managed to exploit those. If it weren't for some very good defending and very good goalkeeping for parts of this game, maybe this would have been a few more goals for Chelsea. I definitely don't think it's been a bad performance, but yeah, it's been a good game of football. I think Charlton have been competitive, but ultimately Chelsea, with the quality they have, lead the game.
Yeah, and as we saw with United, as we saw with Manchester City. As the game went on, Chelsea got better, and I think we'll see that in the second half. Chelsea will just get better and better and better as they get more into the game, as they get back to as they're getting back to full fitness, that they will improve. You know, as we said, we're expecting to see some subs come on in this second half, just to add a bit, more energy, more quality to this Chelsea side. So,
well, rotation simply, isn't it? With the amount of fixtures we've spoken about in this broadcast, the fixtures are going to start piling up. They've got a Saturday match day and then a Wednesday match day next week. So, I think having that bit of rotation in this afternoon's game is going to be useful.
Yeah. Chelsea didn't get to Wembley at any point last season. They all want to get back to Wembley, and do well. And they'll hope to be at Pride Park as well for the Subway League Cup final.
Oh, well, yeah, forget it's there.
I don't like the fact
it was at the Molineux last year, wasn't it?
I understand why they do it, because obviously it gives in terms of it's an opportunity for people around England to come and watch the game. If you live up north, it's easier to get to Derby than it is to come all the way down to Wembley. But when there's, I genuinely believe that Wembley will be sold out for the FA Cup final this year. I think that is a very reasonable thing that can happen.
It depends who the clubs that get there.
That is true.
So Chelsea, Arsenal, they sell out Wembley.
Yeah, and that's why I don't understand why they don't put the Subway League Cup.
Well, if the problem is if the Subway League Cup final is Chelsea Arsenal, it's really silly to send them all up north.
Yeah. But of course, especially when they will sell out Pride Park.
Which is why Molineux makes sense. Or you've got to put it somewhere like London, which is such a hub.
Yeah. But again, the Subway, I think feel like it's limiting tickets. Whereas, if come May time, I think when we're in a position now where Wembley will be, I think they got 55,000 last year, and that was from Man United Tottenham.
They need a neutral northern ground, really.
Yeah.
In the women's game, it could very much be St James's Park. That's very northern, is the problem.
That is so northern.
But you can't have it as like Old Trafford or the Etihad, because that's not neutral. So you need a Wembley of the North, which I think is what Newcastle want to build, isn't it?
No, who was?
It's that Surgeon Ratcliffe's line.
Someone's used that. Wembley. Who was used?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's either Newcastle or
Surgeon Ratcliffe. Equally, he likes his money, so he might not do that.
Yeah, but imagine how many events he could host there.
Oh, he'd have loads.
It'd be concerts every night of the week.
Yeah.
And then a game of football at the weekend.
A random Wednesday in January, and they've just got some random artists up there.
Anything. There's just all sorts going on up there, yeah. But he knows he can make the money back. Look at the Tottenham Stadium. I think they've already made back a lot of what they spent on it in revenue, because they're able to host all sorts there. That you can't do at other venues.
Yeah, Chelsea have their eyes on 4 trophies this season. They all believe they can win them all, and that is half the reason that Chelsea look to win the quadruple. Is because Bon Pastor has, it's not like that she hopes to win it. She fully believes that Chelsea will win every trophy they're in.
Yeah. Well, they should do. Chelsea are they are the strongest team in England. I think that this season, especially, they've opened a gap to the big next 3.
Yeah.
We've had that established big 4 now for a couple of years, but and we've seen that all 4 of them have won trophies over that period. But it does feel like this season that gap is slightly more extended, and it does feel like Chelsea could take advantage of that. I've spoken about it in the past, and while Barcelona fans will disagree with me until the end of time, the Liga F, the lack of competitiveness in it, I believe, has an impact. I think it does mean that Barcelona can rest up, as they do, and they're still comfortable in that division, which does invariably help them with the Champions League. I think if Chelsea can put themselves in a comfortable position where the WSL doesn't have to take huge priority, it will give them an increased chance at winning on the continental stage. So I think this season's setting up really nicely for Chelsea, and games like these where they can get the result without over-exertion, I think are really important.
Yeah. So it does look like Beaver Jones, it does look like Cap Dean, and I think the other one was Niamh Charles, are going to enter the pitch for the second half.
Yeah.
Just if it couldn't get worse for Charlton, Chelsea's going to bring on more players.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is Lauren James coming off.
Potentially.
Because obviously she's had 45 minutes. There's no point risking her for another 45.
Yeah.
Bring her back, ease her income, gradually, I would say.
I don't see her back out on the pitch.
No.
And I see Ramirez and I see Wright. And
I see Jean-Francois, who I think may be playing a higher role.
Or captain.
Then. Yeah, either or.
We're still waiting for Charlton. Don't quite know where they are. So Chelsea are just trying to keep warm while we wait for the away side to turn up.
Sonia is here, though.
Yeah.
And so that is Vika Captain, near Charles, and then Agaviva Jones is all coming onto the field.
Don't know where Beaver Jones is, though.
Intrigued as to for whom.
Yeah. Maybe it's just the two of them.
Potentially, no sign of Aggie. And
she was part of that warm-up.
And she was... But she's not here, so who knows.
And Ramirez is out on the pitch, so maybe not a change. Maybe it's just going to be a double change.
So Neve Charles on for number 17, which is Sunday Baltimore. And then Vika Captain on for number 9, Myra Ramirez.
Cat Macario.
Cat Macario. That's makes sense. And Beaver Jones is there. She was just getting something from the bench. And you'd have to assume that's for Lauren James, because James is not amongst the players on the field. So
Makes
triple
sense.
change. Charles, Captain, Aggie for Lauren James, for
Cat Macario.
And for Sunday Baltimore.
It makes sense. LJ, it was her first start since Crystal Palace, I want to say. Second game of the season. Maybe not. No,
Yeah.
Yeah, was it?
I think that was the last time we saw her.
First start, definitely, because I think she came back, she then got subbed on, and then she got injured again, I want to say.
Potentially.
Kat didn't really do anything in the match, giving more
Well,
minutes.
she played in the Champions League against Real Madrid, 89 minutes, and then has not been seen since. There was one game where it's like, oh, she's injured, and then it's internationals, and then we found out over the international she's out for months.
Yes, that was it.
Oh, she did play Arsenal as well, sorry, in the WSL.
So after that Arsenal game, which to be fair was the start of October, and
Yeah, October the 12th. So yeah, good to see her back, but she is now off. Makes sense. Rest her up. And we're Charlton to get us back underway in this one. Moyo knocks it back, and we're underway. Chelsea 2, Charlton 0. Can Charlton come back in the second half, or can Chelsea compound the misery, compound their dominance? Myra Ramirez holds it up well. Here is bronze. Unfortunately, the FA do not have a graphic for triple subs, but they always do a double, and then I assume they'll show another one. Or maybe they just won't. Jean-Francois, there we go. I don't know what...
That's a really... Chelsea, again, just a little bit messy, and Bright is under pressure, so of course she's going to play a poor pass, and Bjorn's never going to get there. And that ball might just roll back onto the pitch. Someone's going to have to kick that away. There's no way else. There's no way the rest will be happy with that. There we go.
Indeed. 43 votes in the polling chat, by the way. 91% thinking Chelsea will win.
Wow.
Understandable.
I am stunned.
Loads of brave predictors in the live
Fair enough
chat.
for the 9%.
9%, as you say, going for Charlton.
9% Charlton fans. Fair enough to you.
Nice link-up play
Arsenal
from
fans.
Charlton, but that doesn't come to anything, and it rolls triples through to Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, I'll be intrigued to see when the other games are rearranged, because we've got dates in for 2 matches. West Ham, Liverpool and Blackburn, Plymouth? No. Yeah, Plymouth. So it'll be interesting to see when the other games get rearranged for.
It's interesting. You can see which teams had a contingency plan in place and which teams didn't.
Yeah.
Because West Ham went, we've cancelled or postponed the game, but we've rearranged it immediately.
Mm.
And then some things just like we've postponed it, we'll announce at a later date. And obviously for some clubs there can be so many complications because they're ground sharing or they've got to play at the men's team they're playing at the men's team stadium, but they've got to make sure that it doesn't clash with the men's team. But
a lot of it is bizarre to see that we haven't had anything yet, because a lot of clubs called the games off for pitch. Crystal Palace this morning was the only one that was only called off after a pitch inspection. All the others were called off yesterday or early this morning before the referees actually got there. Palace, they waited as long as they could, to be fair to them. But the match officials, of course, weren't happy to play on ice.
Jean-Francois, and now Myra Ramirez, and a chance for Chelsea. Beaver Jones bearing in on goal, lifts it over the goalkeeper, and it's Chelsea 3, Charlton 0. A really well executed move. They pulled apart the Charlton back line, and Aggie Beaver Jones has finished it off with class. A lovely lifted effort, and it's Chelsea 3, Charlton 0.
Yeah, Charlton get dragged miles out of position, and Beaver Jones, in a world of her own, Ramirez plays it across to her. Her first touch actually forces her to have to lift it over the goalkeeper, but she adjusts well, uses the bobble, and finds the back of the net with a lovely little finish.
Yep, tidy from Aggie Beaver-Jones.
And that would be frustrating for Charlton. Only took Chelsea 3 minutes in the second half.
And the problem is they keep going at that pace. If they keep causing Charlton issues, this could get ugly quite quickly.
Yeah.
Charlton are once again going to try their kick-off routine where they send everyone running down the left-hand side. Will it this time be more successful? Well, they've coming forwards.
And then they've lost it.
And then ball out of play for a Chelsea throw.
And then Chelsea have won a throw again. It does feel like I keep watching Chelsea tackle someone, knock the ball off the pitch, and then get a throw.
Well, it seems to be coming off of the Charlton. That one there came off the Charlton player. I know what you're saying because a few of them in that first half were dubiously called Chelsea's way. Those ones where it's a bit 50-50, but you tend to give it to the player that's lost the ball rather than the one that's put in a tackle. But alas. Ball into the box, and that has, cross wasn't great, and that's had a play for a Chelsea goal kick.
Looks like a tad of fog is descending on Kingsmeadow.
Ominous.
Hopefully that stays away. Or doesn't get any thicker.
Yeah, we're just guessing what's happening.
Just that corner seems to...
You sure they've just not missed it up the camera and need to give it a
bit blurry on the right hand side, the lens?
Yeah.
That also wouldn't shock me.
Here comes Charlton. Ball in. That's dealt with by Millie Bright. Drops now on the edge. And Dow. I thought that was an overlapping right back, but no, it's just a poor pass into the winger.
It was the way the winger didn't really seem bothered about getting there, which surprised me. But it is a Chelsea throw and an opportunity just to get the ball down and play some football for Chelsea. Again, won a throw. Not really sure how Charlton are appealing for that one.
Yeah.
Charles taking their time about this throw.
And that's poor from Charlton. From Chelsea, sorry. Charlton picking up the ball into the box, headed away. And it's fast Cuthbert, though, who will deal with it with a much more convincing clearance. And then smashed back into the box by Pearce. A header put haphazardly into the middle of the park. But now the ball has settled in Charlton's possession.
Yeah. That's a great
now
goal.
Here come Chelsea. Aggie Beaver-Jones has been causing issues since he's come on down this right-hand side. Across, though, is blocked. Bronze. Aggie Beaver-Jones. Puts it in there. And there's a touch in there from Captain, and it's blocked there. Oh, no, it's just taken wide by Captain.
Try to bring it down.
For a Charlton.
I think she's just got to try and poke it goalwards there.
Yeah.
With the pace on the ball, she'll do well to bring that into her grasp. Just got to poke it on target and see what happens. But not a bad ball in. Just the wrong idea there from Captain.
Problem is in Doe is right there.
It's
really difficult then to sort of try and to have a shot, try and poke it past her and get enough power on it to go towards goal. It's a nice lifted ball and something that can be worked with here by Bradley. Wants to run across on Jean-Francois. Then a nice touch back into Brazil. Good overlapping run from the full-back across into the box. Is blocked though and then inevitably cleared away. Ball into the box. Blocked again there. Lucy Bronze this time. The one getting in the way of it. That's out this time for a Charlton corner.
Yeah, Charlton's still showing that in attacking intent. They want to come forwards. They're going to try and put Chelsea back under pressure, and fair enough to them. Why not? Why shouldn't they?
Yeah, sure.
And a corner is a good opportunity to try and force a goal. And the comebacks, I think they do very well.
Charlton corner. Ball in towards the near post. It's punched up in the air. And that is out for another corner.
Don't know where the ball's gone, but
much to Hampton's frustration.
They're going to find another one. Yeah. And credit to the Charlton supporters behind the goal who have... I mean, I know it's not an incredibly long trek, but to turn up to a game where you know your side are massive underdogs.
Ball in again. And again, cleared away for a corner.
No, I think Charlton will be happy to do this next 37 minutes. Just keep putting calls in the front post and watching Millie Bright put them out for another corner. Look on short.
Now they do deliver it. That's headed away by Chelsea. Charlton trying to keep it alive, trying to recycle it, but that's an overhit pass. It's going to force Charlton quite deep here. And that'll bounce through to Hannah Hampton, who can gather it without too much complication. Cuthbert into Lucy Bronze. Ramirez to Bronze. Bronze looking for an option. Finds Ramirez, who holds it up well. Now Aggie Beaver-Jones, and that is out of play. Comes off a Charlton player, though, so it will be a throw.
Subs are coming.
Indeed they are, and this time, it's Chelsea again. Sioka Nuskin and Maker Hamano. So on 54 minutes, Chelsea using up the rest of their changes.
Wow. That is surprising.
And off in their place, Mayra Ramirez, and I believe it's Aaron Cuthbert.
Yeah. Makes sense. Two players who have played a lot of minutes this season for Chelsea are going to get a chance to rest.
Yeah. So you assume this will see Hamano onto the right hand side, Aggie Beaver-Jones through the middle, and then Nuskin to Cuthbert. It's quite a seamless transition.
Yeah. But this will be how Chelsea finish the game then. Tidy from Bronze. Unorthodox interception, kind of just caught it in between her legs.
Yeah.
Just to stop the ball going through.
Nuskin. Now Bjorn. Jean-Francois carrying it forwards, needs some options. Goes to Lucy Bronze. Bronze goes wider, still finding Mecca Hamano. Ball down the line for Bronze to give chase to C now. Really well by Hutton.
Yeah, really, really smart defending that is. And credit to Charlton. They haven't done much wrong today, and the intensity has definitely been there from minute one, and it is still there at times. At the end of the day, the quality has prevailed, but overall, not a bad performance. They'll hope to not concede too many more. That'll be their main aim now.
Yeah.
And if they could get one themselves.
All in behind here, and here comes Charlton. Moya has support, uses it. Back now to Moya.
Oh.
That is overhit. It's really poor there from Newsham.
Yeah, should have wanted to do better with that.
Definitely. And now Orange Jean-Francois down, which will be concerning. Obviously, Chelsea having used all of their subs.
Yeah. And that is why you don't use all 5 subs in the 53rd minute. Just in case something like this does happen.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea would choose to play with 10 rather than risk Jean-Francois getting injured. Yeah, lovely goal from looking back at that third goal from
Really
Beaver
well
Jones.
taken. Yeah. Really well taken goal. Really nice finish.
Comes on, gets a goal. Got Myra Ramirez with a goal and an assist. And Osigura Wrighton from the spot. And a penalty that was won by Ramirez. So a really good game all round from Ramirez. 53 minutes, a goal and 2 assists.
Anyway, so that's what you do for your club, boys. No distance too far for your club. The amount of times I've travelled 6+ hours as underdogs, I've lost count. I was there when you beat us 5-1.
Yeah, fair enough. You do have to. At the end of the day, it's your club. You're going to enjoy basically the experience of cheering on your team is good no matter what the result.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, even if you get hammered, the experience of, especially on away days, because like for Charlton, as much as they have lost today, they've watched the fans have watched their side at Kingsmeadow, a ground a new ground they may have not been before. An opportunity. And at the end of the day, it's also an opportunity to watch Chelsea play. Which, as much as you don't want them to win, you're watching one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to sit back and appreciate that.
Especially in this weather. It's incredible.
Yeah, maybe don't sit back. Maybe stand up and jog about and appreciate it.
But I think Charlton fans will be happy with the way their team have represented themselves today. They've put on a performance. As long as they don't do what West Brom did last night, they'll come away with it.
Gura right in there. Holds up the ball nicely. Neve Charles on the overlap, looking dangerous. Puts the ball into Agaviva Jones. I think that would be a goal kick, a corner if it went, and cleared away there. I think Heacham realised that. Well, Newsham, sorry. Emily says that's such an amazing game too. Not gonna lie, once you take the scoreline, once you take up the scoreline, I actually felt privileged to be there to witness a masterclass in football. To this day, that's the best I've seen LJ play. Interesting. For me, it was watching her against Manchester United in the WSL. I think once you watch LJ in person, you have a much greater appreciation for just how good she is.
Yeah.
And that, I think she scored a hat-trick that game. It was 3-0. She scored all the goals, and she was just completely unplayable in that game. It was, February last year? Completely unplayable. And yeah.
Yeah. I think I like the mix you get because, watching your team at home, it's your home ground, it's a great atmosphere. The majority of the people there are cheering for the same team as you is great. But away days are also up there. It's, especially if you win on an away day, it's even a better experience.
Yeah.
Especially if it's, rivals, Chelsea, the Arsenal game, for example. For Chelsea to go to the Emirates and win, it's different to beating them at home. Which we may also see at the end of January. That'll be a very good game. I can't wait. As much as I love the FA, I do love the FA Cup, and we've seen some brilliant results. But to get back to league action as well will be great next weekend.
Oh, I've missed it so much. WSL back on Friday. Cannot wait. We did plan to stream that one. Unfortunately, something has come up, but we will be back on Sunday with the double up to make up for it. So do not worry. Tottenham Leicester, I believe, is the 12:30 kickoff. It would be an interesting one to watch. A repeat of last year's FA Cup semi-final.
And two sides who need a win.
Indeed. And then in the afternoon, in the evening, it'll be the Manchester Derby, Manchester City versus Manchester United. Another two sides.
Can't wait for that.
Who need the win?
That is going to... I still can't call that game. No. Sitting here today, I have no idea who's going to win that.
I like the fact that going into it very level. They've both won the FA Cup games in convincing fashion. United in more convincing fashion, but neither side had any troubles. And I think it should be a really interesting game for that reason.
I'm intrigued to see what United are going to do with Ella too.
Yeah, that is interesting one, isn't it?
She came on and scored, and I think if she can do that against Man City, fair enough. I hope they don't shoe on her in and try and start.
I think the fact Clinton didn't even make the bench shows she's either injured or starting.
Yeah, that is true.
Against Man City. So I think that we've had such a lack of transparency. I have no idea if she's injured or not. But if she isn't injured, I think she'll probably start the City game then. Which I think is completely fair. I think if Toon starts, it will hamper their chances of victory right now. I think it really upsets the balance of that squad to try and play both of them. I think they've got to play the same team they did at the end of the year. The only change-up I think you could potentially make is Bizet coming into the side instead of Jay. But for me, you just go for the strongest.
And if you've got Toon coming off the bench, like I think it was very important that she scored last night against West Brom. That is absolutely crucial for her. That could be. It could get to the point where she plays the same role. She plays the role for United that she did for England when they won the Euros. In terms of, she's that super sub. She comes on, scores a goal, changes the game.
Yeah. Anyway, saying Stranger is one of my highlights of the season. The trip to Stamford Bridge, seeing LJ get her first OSL hat-trick. The atmosphere, I think, was slightly better than 5-1, but you are ultimately superior. Yeah, it's a shame that that's the final game of this season, isn't it? I'd really like to go, but it's a big stream. It's annoying. Obviously, if Chelsea win the league, I want to go see them win lift the trophy. I want to go and as many games as possible. But with this show, you look back at the stream from last season's final day. It was, I know obviously it went down to the wire, so that played a part. And maybe if this isn't so intense, it won't. But I think it was such a big stream last year. It's difficult to miss. But I would like to go. So that Chelsea-Liverpool game, it's one of the only games that the women's side are playing at the Bridge this season. Only 3 WSL games.
That's something we see change next season. We saw a couple of sides who are, Villa, Arsenal, who play every game at their men's ground. We want to see the same. We want to see all of them next season.
That would be nice. Because I'm moving to London, hopefully. Which would mean I'll just go to every game, really. But, yeah. Ball into the box, and that is out for a goal kick.
And you'd expect to see that, especially when you think Brighton are planning to build a ground by 2028, was it?
Well, that's really exciting, isn't it? Yeah, I think the 27-28 season or something like that, which is not that far off. You think, that sounds so far off, but this is 2025 now, so it's not too far off.
4 seasons away, 3.5 seasons away.
Yeah, and Chelsea only having 3 is a shame. We've already been to Man City, obviously Arsenal at the end of this month, and then Liverpool's the only other one. I know the Champions League games are there, of course, but yeah, it's a shame Kingsmeadow is so difficult to get to from where we are.
And we miss the stream, we miss talking to everyone here and having a good time.
Yeah, indeed.
And staying warm. Well, somewhat warm.
But Emma says, you just wanted not to be playing more at Stamford Bridge. Would you get a season ticket? Yeah, definitely. If I can. Bronze. Hamano. Chelsea coming forwards now. Captain pokes it forwards, tries to find Hamano, does find Maker Hamano. Good football from Chelsea. Now Bronze lifts it into the box, headed away. And it felt like it would drop to someone there, but it's Charlton who are breaking away. All down this right-hand side, but Moya unable to keep it in play. He says it's really exciting. Good on Brighton. Yeah, indeed, very progressive club. I think you can see from their investment in the women's side just how valuable, or how much value they see in the women's game. Brighton. I think there's clear investment in the squad. There's clear, the coaching appointment was a very well thought out and very good appointment, clearly. And, with statements like they want to build a stadium, I think it shows that there's a real investment there.
I think there's a big chance Brighton could win silverware in the next few years. If they keep up this kind of ambition.
I think they're better run than a lot of the top clubs in the WSL right now. I think you look at their recruitment, there's been a strategy to it. Yeah. And every signing, or a lot of the signings have worked out. I mean, you look at Elizabeth Turland, that should have been a huge return on investment, but because of the short contracts, they were a bit screwed over there. But clearly their recruitment is effective.
Yeah. This game is Chelsea are in a. They've just taken they've put on cruise control. They're knocking the ball around. They're not coming forward with incredible intent. They're not rushing to get more goals. And Charlton, they're still putting on a very good fight. So it's kind of evened out. It's still a little bit scrappy. Chelsea are in control. Charlton don't look like hurting them at all. But it just means that, we're not sitting here going, Chelsea are having chance after chance. But they've got a free kick here, which could force a good opportunity. But the second half has definitely been one that Chelsea it's more of just seeing it through now, rather than seeing how many goals they can score.
Yeah. Amano over this free kick. Would be nice for her to add a goal to her account for the season. It's not a great effort, in all honesty, that.
She doesn't want to watch that one back.
No.
Looked to go onto the wall and just dragged it wide and past the wall and along the floor. And in the end, it didn't cause a problem for anyone.
No. Apart from the steward that sat there looking incredibly cold.
He hasn't even got gloves on. What an idiot.
But yeah. Moya. Pokes a pass back here, and I think the captain will put the pressure on. Comes off bigger captain out for a throw. But yeah, only 20 minutes to go here then at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea seemingly on cruise control now.
Mm.
I was saying I love Kingsmeadow. It's such a great day out. Yeah, I really want to visit. It's just, as I say, really difficult because of where we are and how the trains work. At 3 o'clock would actually be a perfect time to go. But yeah, we just need sort of stars to align in our favour. Here's captain to be able to make it work. Emily says, if only we could learn from Brighton. It feels like we made steps forward since Matt came back in, but this season feels like a step backwards because FSG don't want to put the money in. Yeah, I agree. I think the recruitment has been flashy. I think Howell's a good signing, Smith's a good signing, and they've done really well with those big signings, those big additions, but you can't just improve the ceiling of the squad, because if you just put a ceiling on a house without a floor, it just falls.
Mm.
And there isn't really a floor to the squad. There isn't really a depth to the squad.
I mean, I think they did move ground, didn't they, this summer?
I can't remember.
The
Totally Wicked one.
Yeah, to St Helens.
Yeah, I missed the Totally Wicked stadium.
And that was
good
positive because St Helens is bigger, so that was positive. That was a good move.
Yeah,
and we have seen them play a couple games at Anfield over the last couple of years, which again, is good. It was the Man City game, wasn't it, where Matt Beard wasn't there and they were 15 minutes away from getting a point and 40 minutes away from winning.
I was at Anfield. I don't know if I've got any more Anfield games. I know United have a couple Old Trafford games this season as well. I don't know if City got any Etihad. I've not seen them there yet.
I think Manchester Derby usually is. It was last year anyway. The Etihad for Tottenham.
Oh yeah.
But I think the Manchester Derby next weekend is the Etihad.
I could possibly find out. I'll have a look.
Or Old Trafford. Surely it's Manchester Derby. It's got to be one of the
I don't know if. I think United's are really weird. It's like they had the opening day of the season, which was West Ham. They didn't really promote it, and it was not a very good game.
Mm.
So it didn't. I don't think it really got much traction.
No. They're just. I mean,
it's at Man City, and it is at the Etihad Stadium.
Yeah. So they always put the Manchester City are good at putting the Manchester Derby. The fact that Chelsea City, obviously it was that better than they had because that was at the Joey last season.
United Chelsea is at the Lay Sports Village. United City is at the Etihad.
Why do they not put United Chelsea?
I guess because there won't be many travelling fans.
Yeah. So
it's difficult to sell that out. Well, they're not going to sell out Old Trafford anyway, but it's difficult to see huge numbers going for that.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess for the Manchester Derby, you'd expect people will turn up. So that should be good. But yeah, it's a shame from a Chelsea perspective because while it's quite difficult to envision managing to get there in April.
Obviously, Chelsea lifted the trophy at Old Trafford last season. But I think the reason they probably did that is because the Dicel got onto them and said, look, can Chelsea lift the title at Old Trafford rather than Lay Sports Village?
Well, I imagine it would have been organised earlier, to be fair.
Potentially.
Obviously, every Arsenal game's at the Emirates.
United probably did that thinking that they might have a chance of it being them, but it wasn't.
Emily says that Liverpool at Anfield for United on the 16th and Everton on the 4th. So they do just go for the teams that are close. Chance out for Charles, should finish it off, and it's Chelsea 4, Charlton 0. We're too busy looking at other things, but Chelsea do extend their lead in this one, though. Moves down the right-hand side. It falls to Charles at the far post, who tucks it home well.
Yeah. Really nice finish. Chelsea just putting the cherry on top of the icing on the cake.
Good to see her back amongst the goals there, Neve Charles. And we've not seen a lot of the season, obviously, with injury. Right down the right-hand side, Nuskin cuts it back. Really well left by Guro Wrighton. Charles runs onto it. Slots it home.
Lovely finish. A player who started the season so strongly before her injury. She'll be happy. She's back. And that is the main thing for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And that she can start having an effect on the season. She is that kind of player that on her day she can impact matches, she can impact a season and Chelsea's performance.
And we've not seen her this campaign. You know, she missed. She came back right at the end of the year, but she missed most of the first half of the season, and it'll feel like a new addition.
She's definitely all right though. I mean, she was wrestling Micah Hamano on the winter break in Portugal.
Yeah. Charles just played a ball down the line to herself there. Cuts it back there to Hamano. Brilliant that from Nick Charles. Guro Wrighton. Cross it for Bronze, who hits it first time.
Great block.
That's really well blocked, as you say.
That effort,
keeper had it.
That effort was on target for Bronze. That was a great strike, but an even better block.
Yeah.
From the Charlton backline. Here's Charles again. Really starting to get on the ball. Guro, that's a little bit too fancy. And it's out for a Chelsea throw. And Charles will get it again, moving quickly. Like Neve Charles suddenly just scored and just sprung into life. She's now the only person touching the ball.
And so I feel like United's problem is they picked the wrong fixtures for Old Trafford. Why not Chelsea, us, or even Arsenal for Old Trafford rather than West Ham or Palace? Well, yeah, those two are stupid because you're not going to get huge. Oh, you're not going to get loads of neutrals go. That's going to be a really exciting game that are local. You're not going to really get. You know, if you're a fan of the men's United team, you don't look at that game and go, "Oh yeah, that's one I want to go to," because you'll look at the table and go, "Well, we're playing bottom."
Yeah,
but yeah, some odd decision making at the club. Shock. You'd think that Chelsea, that would be a huge attraction. You think, as Emily says, I think Arsenal would be a huge attraction.
At least they put the Manchester derby there.
Indeed.
And I think the Etihad will get a good crowd for next weekend.
Yeah. Should do. Charlton in possession. I'd quite like to make the trip up to City Chelsea, but it's just a trek to get up to Manchester.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back there.
Wow, giving
us a bow, yeah.
Charlton are doing well. They've played I think, as I said, they will take 3 or 4 now. It is now 4-0. I hope they cannot concede anymore. They're making some change. They've made 2 changes. They're now going to make another 2, I think it is. Just to add some fresh legs to the team, give some opportunities to some players. Brazil is on, so that might help them.
Brazil's off. Brazil's been playing. Not noticed Brazil.
No, you think a whole country on the football pitch would have had an impact?
You would indeed. And then Moya off for Bashford as well. Had a good game, Moya. Definitely showed some glimpses of quality. Ball smashed forward there by Gray. One back quickly by Bill. Ball forward searching for Aggie Beaver Jones. And that is smashed away by Charlton. Now here come Charlton. Ball lifted through, but that's cut out by Bjorn, and Chelsea will look to play. Not sure why Nusken's put Charles under so much pressure, or why Charles has put Bright under so much pressure, but they are trying to play out of it, and now they do lose the ball. Out for a Charlton throw.
Not sure what Chelsea, just messing around a bit.
Yeah. Just deal with that. Lovely ball through from Newsham. Cut back. Can they get a shot away? Nope, they're forced to try and recycle again. Bashford wants to deliver. Crossed in, flicked on in the box, and then cleared away by Chelsea.
Charlton will want to give their fans something to cheer, give themselves a positive.
Bjorn picks out Lucy Bronze. Looks to deliver it for Beaver Jones. That's a fantastic save from Gray.
Gray's been quality.
That over the bar wonderfully.
Some really huge shots. It could have been, 6 or 7 without some big saves from Gray.
Another ball in from Bronze. Another effort from Beaver Jones. That's, flicked over the bar. Really, really good save.
Yeah. Beaver Jones really want to get that on target as well. It's not an easy ball to do. She nearly ran past it. Chelsea corner, though.
Yeah. Ball in. And headed away. It's going to drop in there for Michael Hamano, who can't quite hold on to the ball. And then is brought down, and that is given as a foul. Does well there to draw the foul, Hamano. Chelsea can use this set piece. 12 minutes to go, though, for all intents and purposes, this game looks to be over. Chelsea in a very comfortable position. Charlton probed. In the second half, they've looked defenceless, though. And Chelsea should progress into the round of 16. Staying finalists in last year's competition, winners of the edition the year before. Really bright in possession now. Bjorn. Now Bronze. Bronze tries to find Jean-Francois, who take that in a stride nicely. Tries to find Hamano, who doesn't quite read that play. And now Charlton could look to break. Bradley. Up against that Chelsea backline. Looks isolated somewhat up there. I think Charlton have resigned themselves more to this defeat in this second half. The first half they look up for, I think once they conceded those 2 goals, I think they came out the second half all right. They conceded very early though, and it's just seemed to have knocked the wind from their sails, really.
Yeah, if they can manage to not concede in this last 10 minutes, I think they will take 4-0.
It's not a bad result. I think performance in the first half was something they could be proud of.
Yeah. I think without the penalty and without conceding 3 minutes into the second half, they could have made a better game of it. But then you could also argue that Chelsea would have pushed harder in this second half and probably would have scored
Bronze
the same.
whips it in, headed away. Nuskin tries to bring it down, but that is flagged offside regardless. Somewhat dubious call.
Yeah, I think it was tight on Hamano. Was it on? Yeah, Hamano. Well, everyone's starting to do their laces in a Charlton shirt. But they are going to... Gray is just going to, smash this as far up the pitch as she possibly can.
Yeah, she's encouraging people up. Pushing the team upfield. And she'll launch it long. Hell of a launch, to be fair. Bjorn wins the initial contact. Chelsea win the second ball, and now they'll look to play Bronze. But the difference is here, by Charlton pushing the team up, when they lose the ball there, rather than Chelsea winning that first contact and then being able to come and attack, Charlton were positioned high, so Chelsea couldn't just run at them. So now they can, because that's a hell of a ball. Charles unable to bring it down, though. Great knock in there. Or is it Vika Captain? I think it was. Just laying that ball out wide. Charles, though, unable to get it under control. A ball down the line. I'm back in there by Chelsea. Right, Nusken. Bjorn. To Bright, down the line into Charles, who finds Wrighton, who turns well and looks to come forward. It's played wide into Charles. Ball into the box, flicks on, falls for Jean-Francois, who scuffs it. A chance to add a Chelsea goal to her record. Now Vika Captain. Bright. Nusken. Captain, fantastic switch to the play. Bright lays it to Bronze lays it towards Jean-Francois, put out of play there by the Charlton defender. And now a chance from this corner for Chelsea to try and extend their advantage.
Yeah. Chelsea would like a couple more, just to, be a bit more of a polished scoreline. And, add a couple goals to players' tallies. Charles is hunting for another one. That's not a bad strike. Another brilliant save.
Wonderful save.
Charles, so dangerous, just picks the ball up, drives into the Charlton penalty area, strikes it well, and it's a really good stop from Gray. Once again called into action and once again has the answers. And not much she could have done about any of the goals that she has conceded.
No.
But more about the saves that she's pulled off. To be honest, she's stopped certain goals in this match.
Righton. Now Hermano. Plays it into Captain. Now Righton. And that's bouncing around the area there.
So it almost hit Beaver Jones on the head more than her heading it goalwards.
Charles. Hermano. Charles. Captain finds Bronze. Back to Captain. Back to Bronze. Back to Captain. Now Charles. Micah Hermano. Bright now finds Charles. Ball down the line into Righton. Nice give and go between her and Nusken. Here's Hermano. Touches it into Jean-Francois, who wriggles a bit of space to have a shot. Doesn't quite come to fruition as it's blocked. Now Bronze. Lays a pass towards Beaver Jones, cut out by the Charlton defence. Bright. Charles. Gives it wide into Guro. Righton into Hermano. Nusken bounce one back to Bright to Hermano. Brighton can't quite find that pass inside as he misplaces it. Charlton try and break, but it's quickly won back by Chelsea. Charles fashions a pass towards Righton. Hermano with a flick towards Jean-Francois. And now Charlton have the ball back and they can just slow it down till they just smash it forwards and it's one back in there. No idea why Nussen's chose to just give the ball away. Sorry, Captain chose to give the possession away. Very messy, but Chelsea have possession.
Actually, a lovely pass from Captain to progress the ball forward for Charlton. Not what she had in mind, but it looked very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only a few minutes remaining at Kingsmeadow, and it's a very nice start to 2025 for Chelsea.
Yeah, a comfortable victory, I think is the way you could describe it.
Exactly what the doctor ordered against Championship opposition, who, yes, they are very near the bottom in the second division. We know that isn't a representation of how good Charlton are.
I played very well today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Here's Bronze.
I mean, they were 2 points away from this being a WSL match this season.
Indeed.
Charlton are a very difficult opponent.
Charles.
On their day.
Puts the ball into the box. It's headed away. Captain. They just can't recruit the same way that other teams have. You've got to consider the other championship sides are either bankrolled by Michelle Kang or Premier League clubs, a lot of them. And, you think about the money that Southampton has spent, Sunderland, who are obviously a championship club in the men's
Birmingham,
game.
who are now top of the
Birmingham, who are, have put a lot of money into both the men's and women's teams.
Michelle Kang, who's just
Michelle Kang FC,
just paying everyone to come play for London City Lionesses.
And yet a bit convincing win today, but it's not worked really. They haven't. You'd have thought with the investment and the recruitment they did, they'd have taken the championship by storm, but they haven't really.
The fact that their coach was in the semi-finals of the Champions League last season.
Ball play through and a chance for Charlton. Hampton quick off her line though to spoil the fun.
Go for goal herself there, Hannah Hampton. But yeah. It's a very competitive championship. I think it will be as tight as it was last year. It was a really close.
And again, it opens up questions about why we only have 3 spots. I think It's difficult. One spot. I was going to say maybe we should have 3. It's difficult because you want to see the WSL grow in numbers, and I think with that the investment will be helpful. But we need to see a championship team come up and stay up. I think in the modern era first, because obviously we saw it a few years ago, but that was with Liverpool, Manchester United. Since they've had Bristol City, who put up a measly 6 points, and then Crystal Palace, who may well stay up this year.
Yeah,
but it's going to be by the skin of their teeth. But I would say when you look at the championship sides now, you've got Birmingham who have cash to burn. You've got London City Lionesses who have invested a lot. You've got Sunderland who can invest, Southampton who can invest, Newcastle who can invest everything. Chelsea have a chance here. Unfortunately, someone turned the camera off for a second there. Timer kept going.
Yeah, so he lost loads of minutes, but someone just pressed pause on the foot. But yeah, I think there's a very good chance that a team like Birmingham, if they do get promoted, could come up and put up a fight. As much as Bristol City are in the fight again, unless they get incredible investment, I don't see them coming up and putting up a fight. Like even if Palace are to go down in the situation they are in now, they've still come into the league. They've still won a few games. They've still put a few points.
They're only a point off Bristol City's tally from last season.
It's incredible. And to be honest, they will pick up a point at some point this season.
And he says, I feel like the WSL needs to be extended to 14 teams and 2 teams come up and 2 teams go down. Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be, the next step is increase it by two teams and you just have one season where 1 goes down, 3 come up. The maths does work there. Yeah. And then, which I think is fairer than nobody goes down and 2 come up.
Yeah. And then obviously you'd accommodate for that further up some more teams would come up from the national leagues, more teams, and
that's the problem. It's hard to do without having sort of a whole scale rescaling of the pyramid.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. It's easy to say, we should have a couple of championship sides in the WSL, but the knock-on effect of that is, are there enough national league sides to make up that deficit?
Because you're not going to cut you're not going to shorten the championship. There's only 12 teams in it.
Yeah, so you'd have to have another 2 that could come up from the championship, from the national league, that would be comfortable. So it's a different.
Which you might get because you've got a lot of very good teams coming through. You've got #United who are
clear investment there.
Nottingham Forest who find themselves top of the National League North. I think
it's Town maybe in the conversation there as well.
There's a lot of clubs that are like the Premier League clubs. In terms of Forest, Ipswich, they're going to start the final leagues.
You think, well, what's in the 4th tier? What's in the 5th tier? So it's really difficult to balance because you've got to make sure you find the right structure. It's not like in the men's game where you have 21 tiers. There are 6, I believe, in the women's game, maybe 7 now. And there's only 2 professional. I think the championship clubs are professionals now. So, yeah, it's different.
Yeah. And I think that the other thing we don't want to see die out is that in terms of we want to see it, we've done very well at the moment to see the difference.
Almost comical yellow card there, conceded by the Charlton player who just pulls Vicar captain to the ground with the back of the shirt.
But this is the first year in a few years that we've seen a WSL where all 12 teams have men's Premier League equivalents. Because last year we had Bristol City who were Championship. The year before that we had Reading who were Championship at the time.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that die out. We don't want to see it to become completely obvious. Just can't like carbon go. We want to see teams from the Championship can still make inroads.
I think that's why it's exciting to see teams like Birmingham.
Yeah,
to see London City Lionesses who aren't affiliated with any men's.
That's what we want to see. Like Rugby Borough getting through to the 5th round.
London Bees being in the 4th round, full stop was quite impressive. So. Yeah, I think as you say, that is really good to see. So there's also, I can't remember who it was, but someone said in the comments the other day, I might be an email I got actually, saying, will we see a non-affiliated men's team? I'm not sure if they know of London City Lionesses and stuff, but they suggested something like Manchester Bells.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we will start to see more non-affiliated women's teams set up.
Potentially.
because you can invest, as Michelle Kang has done, and I think we will see more investment like that.
Yeah.
Rather than rather than the men's clubs, because there's not that investment. It's different to having an owner who's actually investing in just the women's side.
I know it's different. Exactly, that's the thing. It's different from Michelle Kang because she owns every club in the world. But for other investors, it's an intriguing prospect because you only have to worry about one team, which is, you can't say that for any other. If it has an affiliation, the owners have to worry about both teams.
Well, even rugby have a men's team that's just rubbish.
Yeah.
They're in like the step 7 of non-league, or maybe it's like higher than that, step 4.
Yeah. London Bees are the perfect scenario because they're not affiliated. They're getting help from Barnet, but
they play not at the Hive, don't they?
Yeah, which is massive because it's.
And if Barnet were a Premier League club on pairs, they probably would be called London Bees. But
yeah,
I think it's good to see that non-affiliation.
And obviously, hashtag are another huge one. Obviously they are affiliated to a men's side, but again, that men's side are nowhere near the third tier of men's football. But that will be very interesting to see. And but that's also a club that have been very transparent.
It's very worrying here. A stretcher, full Vika captain.
It was a really.
She's just pulled down by the back of her shirt.
It's one of those that really didn't seem.
At the time, I described it as a comical yellow because it was such a silly.
It was a lazy foul.
I don't know why you call lazy foul. There's no point.
Yeah. And I didn't see much in it. It just seemed like a pull of the shirt.
And someone has turned the camera off again. Because we are just filming a player potentially needing a stretcher, which is an interesting choice.
Well, no, it's not. It's just an out of shot
thing.
What are they going to do? They've got one camera.
Yeah, we'll turn it away.
What, the grass?
What's that else? Look at the fans.
It's not like on there. It's a wide shot. It's the only thing FA player can do. Unless we're going to just zoom in on.
Just turn it.
Who's that down there? Number 7 with Charlton, which is also in that work is also a bit strange. But yeah, this is exactly not what you want to see for Chelsea, or for captain or anyone.
It's a captain requiring a stretcher here.
A player who's burst onto the scene for Chelsea this season as an incredible start of the campaign. Still, a very, very young player. Hopefully, this isn't going to be an extremely serious injury.
Yeah, because after Julia Bartel has been loaned out, Chelsea are now, we're down to 4 midfielders. If this was to be something,
Ingles already out of an ACL.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what it could be.
No, indeed, but stretcher is always a worrying sign.
And for a very young, it will be a huge shame for Chelsea for captain, and hopefully she is all right. Well, yeah. So it does also mean Chelsea will finish the game with 10 players, because with captain being stretchered off and all the subs being used, Chelsea will finish with 10. I don't think it's going to have that much
concussion.
I don't think it's going to have that much of an effect on the result, unless Charlton.
No, you think just blow the whistle here? Right.
Yeah. No one. Chelsea are down to 10. Charlton has got 4 goals. We have to get restarted first. She can't just blow the whistle now.
Why not?
Whatever, it's just chilling them out.
We're in the 94th minute anyway, the game.
Yeah. And Chelsea, who it's all been very positive with Lauren James back from injury, with Sam Kerr coming back in February, with Mia Fischel back soon as well. Very positive signs, but
we're looking back through the best chance of the half. Bar the goals, of course, with Jones' effort tipped over by Gray. Let's see what other clips.
This was another really good save.
Well worked by Charles. Great stop from Gray. I feel like Gray's PR team have just slipped the camera out of the part.
Yeah, I think we are now going to start to get back underway. Or Charlton knocking the ball around just to keep themselves warm.
Captain is now on the stretcher, I believe.
Yeah.
And she will be stretchered off to a round of applause from the Chelsea fans. Very worrying for Vika captain and for Chelsea, of course.
Yeah. A player who's played a very important role in Chelsea in the first half of the season for Chelsea. Has been that backup defensive midfielder to Nuskin and Cuff, but has played higher up at times.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see her back on the pitch soon. Well, but, yeah. You never know. We are back underway. We are now in the 98th minute because of that very long stoppage. So we don't know how long we're going to play.
It's Charles. Now back to Bright. Bjorn. Bronze. Bjorn. Now Nuskin. Bjorn goes back to Hannah Hampton. Bright. Pass inside to Sioka Nuskin. Bright will lift that ball forwards. And that's headed out of play by Endo. Throwing now for Chelsea as we approach the 100th minute of the game.
We need to get a time that's prepared to go to the 100th minute.
Yeah.
I just didn't think we'd need it. Because when the time, because it was obviously before they had the new added time rules, where they just add on 15 minutes for a laugh at the end of the game.
Yeah. Bronze's effort forward is
smashed into the press area again. I would not sit there with my that close to the pitch with a laptop and everything.
You've got to have reactions, haven't you?
Yeah, I suppose.
And there we go. That is full time here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea 4, Charlton 0. Not a vintage performance from Chelsea, but a convincing win in the end. And yeah, Chelsea progressing into the next round, which was the objective of today's game. Charlton put up a good fight, but ultimately it was to no avail as Chelsea will be through into the round of 16. Good win.
Yeah, a good win for Chelsea. It is job done, and they will be very happy. They've put themselves into the hat for the 5th round draw tomorrow night. It will be overshadowed by the injury to Captain, and hopefully there is nothing too serious. But as you say, when a player gets stretchered off, it's never a good sign. And I think that has overshadowed the performance. Overshadowed the result in the game. Because for Chelsea, they're through. And that's the most important thing. It was a good performance. Fair play to Charlton. They came to Kingsmeadow and they put up a decent fight. Only conceding 4, and when you think one of them was a penalty, and it was tighter, I think, than the scoreline suggests. And they had their own moments to come forward, and they did very well to turn up. They were strong. They were assertive. Game ran away from them towards the end, but overall a good shift for Charlton. But Chelsea are through. Yeah.
Indeed, watching back these highlights from the first half feels like a completely different game from how we moved from light to dark throughout the afternoon. But alas, it is indeed over now. Emily says, when's your next live stream, boys? We are back this weekend for the WSL. We'll be live on Sunday for a double header of Tottenham, Leicester and the Manchester Derby. So join us for both of those, and obviously content out throughout the week, so look out for the videos as well. We're back now with regular streaming, all the WSL games that we can. So yeah, very exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting times. That, though, is everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.